live and it is the second last day of the Prague Masters and भाई लोग मुझे पता है तुम लोग पिछले 2 घंटे से क्या कर रहे थे, सो रहे थे ना। पता है मुझे, सो रहे थे तुम लोग, बिल्कुल चिल कर रहे थे पिछले 2 घंटे से, मैं भी सो रहा था। So that's the good news and welcome chat. Bhai, glad to have you all for the second last day and we are back with the Indian players. Why are you coming so late? Late nahi yaar. Actually, I think chat, as we know, like I think I have not been as well during this tournament also. I think that's why we started an hour late. But and we continued, I think, since yesterday. I think we're starting an hour late. And kal, of course, by the way, the matches will start even earlier. So us pe aayenge hum log. But meanwhile, chat, I think we are back to the game. So let's have a look about what's happening for Indians in the race. And we start with the world champion himself. So Gukesh versus Vincent Keymer. His second, by the way. So Vincent Keymer, of course, is world number 5 right now. Gukesh is world number 20. Let's see game कैसी उनकी चली. And going to the games, एक बार जल्दी से अगर मुझे move दिख जाते तो बढ़िया रहता. Yeah, there it is. So e4, e5, and we have Spanish on the board. Knight f6 castles, bishop e7, rook e1. And यहाँ पे castles काफी solid choice. गुकेश जा रहे हैं central break के लिए. So black पहले break कर देते हैं. And यहाँ पे आता है e takes, knight takes, knight takes. And we have, भाई साहब, I never thought we said he like the marshal ही है ना भाई, marshal gambit बोलते हैं, attack बोलते हैं, whatever we say call it, but crazy. Never expected this theoretical line here. So Gukesh is entering some interesting territory. आता है d3, a5, knight d2, a4, bishop c2, a3. भाई a pawn ऐसे दौड़ लगा रहा है जैसे मतलब संजू सैमसन during a semi-final. आता है rook to e1 and now b4. This is a very interesting pawn structure on the queen side. ये मारोगे तो ये मारूंगा और ये मारोगे तो ये. आता है c4, bishop f6, brilliancy. Wow, what a move by Vincent Keymer here, played in just a minute. तो प्रिपरेशन लग रही है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इफ यू टेक द नाइट देयर इज a takes b2 एंड दैट शुड बी गेम ओवर और क्लोज टू ओवर. तो यहां पे आता है pawn to d4 blocking this. एंड अब यहां पे गुकेश सोच रहे हैं. गुकेश बाय द वे इज अप ऑन द क्लॉक बाय अ बिग मार्जिन. सो ही सीम्स लाइक गुकेश की प्रिपरेशन है बट द पोजीशन इज वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. देखते हैं क्या होता है. वेलकम चैट, क्या हाल चाल भाई? क्या किसी ने क्रिकेट मैच देखा भाई? हैव यू सीन द मैच भाई? आज तो इंडियन टीम भाई धो रही है यार. दे धना धन धन, असली दे धना का मतलब आज देखा मैंने. I mean, I thought कि like the Indian team will be strong, but I didn't expect कि इतना बढ़िया खेलेंगे आज यार. जितनी भी अच्छी पिच हो, मतलब काफी अच्छा खेला आज. It's Magnus opening. वाह भाई, Magnus भाई को ओपनिंग एक बार खेल दे उसी का नाम उसके आगे जुड़ जाता है. So meanwhile, as you can see, Gukesh वहां पे काफी stone cold लग रहे हैं. And let's have a look at the game of Aravindh and then Divya and Surya as well. एक बार round up कर लेते हैं चारों games का. And he's playing Jorden van Foreest, the tournament leader. So, believe it or not, everybody in the tournament is cheering for Arvind today. Apart from Jordan, they're like, "Bhai, Arvind, bhai, ye game, jeet jane ka. We'll all, give you a party tonight." So, काफी interesting opening है. Weird Queen G3, Queen D6 moves, and position-wise, it does look equal. So, Arvind playing a good opening. And yesterday he was heartbroken, but देखते हैं क्या होगा. Meanwhile, going to the game of Surya, Shekhar, Ganguly, and then Divya. Where is Surya? I see him here. He's playing the tournament leader. So a very tough game ahead for Surya Shekhar Ganguly. बहुत खतरनाक फॉर्म में है. ये IM वकलाव जो ऑलरेडी 2582 पहुंच चुके हैं भाई, 2600 की तरफ बढ़ते हुए. A Czech talent who's really checking all his opponents here. And 97 only move नहीं निकाली सूर्या ने. And apparently white is just close to winning. I think rook c2 was even better, but ठीक है. A good position for white. Surya struggling. And now we go to the game of Divya Deshmukh. Round up करना पहले पूरा बहुत जरूरी. And we have d4, knight f6, एक और d4, Nimzo Indian, bishop d3 आया, and d5 central break, takes. And okay, typical position. White has the isolated pawn, but he has more space. So very interesting position, I think, and will be fun to follow. Divya is low on the clock. तो मेरे हिसाब से I think she should definitely practice managing time here. This is a good opportunity. And black, of course, will love to trade pieces because white के पास isolated pawn है. In these positions, black just wants to trade pieces as much as possible. So very interesting. Divya playing a player who's, I think rarely has she played a player in this tournament which is lower rated than her. यहाँ पे उनकी opponent की rating लगभग बराबर है उनसे. So she would love to push here for the win. White pieces भी है. So देखते हैं क्या होता है. So going back to world champion and now coming back to you chat. क्या हाल चाल भाई? देखा क्या इंडिया की बैटिंग देखी किसी ने भाई? मजा आ गया भाई. When Indians are doing well, तो अलग ही फीलिंग आती है यार. वही फीलिंग आज चेस में मुझे चाहिए भाई. चेस में भी वही फीलिंग चाहिए जो अभी संजू सैमसन ने दी, वही गुकेश सैमसन भी देंगे. Meanwhile, both are being run after we noticed. Yeah, very interesting. I think हमने उनको पोल खोल दी, so they are trying to confuse us, but we will not be confused. Divya Deshmukh, we know कौन है आपका second. We know. मजा तो आया, मजा आया ना भाई. भाई क्या छक्के में छक्के मारे यार, क्रेजी भाई. एंड इट वाज सो मच फन टू वॉच. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया की बैटिंग, मुझे अपडेट देते रहना चैट भाई क्या हुआ इंग्लैंड की बैटिंग में अब. मीनवाइल चैट, विंसेंट काइमर को हरा के गुकेश बहुत रेटिंग गेन कर सकते हैं. अ गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी हियर फॉर गुकेश टू गेन सम कॉन्फिडेंस. आई डू थिंक yesterday he played a great game. Like he found all those only moves under time pressure. So I think कल उन्होंने काफी अच्छा डिस्प्ले किया अपनी टिपिकल प्ले का 24 वाले गुकेश का. बट क्या वो आज कंटिन्यू कर पाएंगे इज द इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. मीनवाइल चैट, यहाँ पे d4 के बाद इफ यू जस्ट टेक दिस पॉन फॉर एग्जांपल बिशप d4, अनफॉर्चुनेटली यहाँ पे c takes d5, a takes b2, bishop takes b2, bishop takes b2. There is this move bishop h7 check, जो d4 के बाद हमारा बिशप खुल गया, king h7 and queen c2, and इसकी वजह से the position is close to equal. So ये d4 move का यही आइडिया था, to open this bishop up, and that's why white is equal, at least equal, let's say. And यहाँ black अभी भी मार सकते हैं, but I think there are other moves. Yeah, you could save the knight with knight c7. You could still take on b2, and multiple options available for Vincent Keymer. गुकेश काफी कॉन्फिडेंट लग रहे हैं, अपनी प्रेप में है अभी. गुकी लॉस नहीं यार, कमान चैट भाई, जज्बा चाहिए. आज तो इंडियंस पेलते ही जा रहे हैं. आज कैसे हार सकता है गुकेश भाई? आज कोई इंडियन नहीं हारेगा, आज सब जीतेंगे भाई. रुकी विल लूज. नहीं नहीं भाई, आज नहीं हारेंगे गुकेश जी. आज गुकेश डी या गुकेश जी जो भी है, आज वो जीतेंगे जरूर. मीनवाइल आई थिंक जॉर्डन की गेम में बिशप f3 मार दिया गया है. सो अरविंद कह रहे हैं कि मुझे क्वीन ट्रेड नहीं चाहिए. सो क्वीन टेक्स f3 इज नाउ पॉसिबल, and then of course bishop f4 will be tempting. So queen f3. So black ko maybe he should play e5 to stop bishop f4 in some cases, or he could also play g6 and put the bishop here. So Aravindh Chithambaram very emotional after his draw yesterday where he was completely winning, +6 थी valuation, and we saw him heartbroken there. But okay, देखते हैं आज क्या होता है. Meanwhile he's still thinking. And और क्या चल रहा है भाई, और क्या चल रहा है? Let's go to Gukesh. मुंबई की पिच ही ऐसी है, रन पड़ेंगे भाई. स्टिल यार 250 रन इज क्रेजी नो. लाइक मतलब 250 स्टिल इंप्रेसिव, कैसी भी पिच हो. मतलब आई थिंक इट्स स्टिल प्रीटी इंप्रेसिव. इनफैक्ट मुझे वो कमेंट बड़ा अच्छा लगा उसका. सुनील गावस्कर कहता है ग्रेट स्कोर बाय टीम इंडिया, एवरीबॉडी कंट्रीब्यूटेड अपार्ट फ्रॉम अभिषेक शर्मा. अभिषेक शर्मा सोच रहा होगा भाई साहब, मतलब इट्स लाइक एवरीबॉडी कंट्रीब्यूटेड टू दिस ग्रुप प्रोजेक्ट, बस मैं ही रह गया भाई, मेरे ही मजे लिए जा रहे हैं. सो लाइक या फाइनल में निकला भाई बंदा अभिषेक शर्मा, मुझे लगता है वो. सर आई चैलेंज यू टू चेस मैच भाई. आई ऑल्सो चैलेंज मल्टीपल प्लेयर्स. मेरे को भी मैंने चैलेंज करना है. सो समडे होगा भाई, किसी दिन खेलेंगे पक्का यार, किसी दिन स्ट्रीम पे, रैंडम स्ट्रीम पे खेलेंगे. मे बी आई स्ट्रीम ऑन माई चैनल समडे, चिलिंग प्लेइंग विद सब्स, तो वहाँ फॉलो करो एंड आई विल प्ले विद यू. बट अभी के लिए वे फोकस्ड ऑन द टॉप लेवल गेम्स. हम लोग खेलेंगे तो सडनली एक्यूरेसी 99 से 69 पहुंच जाएगी, तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा बहुत लोगों को. अभी भी इंडिया की विन देख के आ रहे हैं, डिप्रेस हो जाएंगे. यू आर एनएम और सीएम, आई एम बोथ यार. सो समटाइम्स यू कैन बी बोथ. ऐसे आप 6 भी मार सकते हो, आप टुक टुक भी कर सकते हो. यू हैव टू हैव बोथ स्किल्स. तो फिडे का टाइटल हो, यूएसएफ का टाइटल हो, या WWE का टाइटल हो, तीनों लेके रखो भाई. दैट्स मल्टीटास्किंग करनी चाहिए लाइफ पे. Is Rakesh coming today? Bhai, Rakesh bhai, believe it or not. Okay, I'll give you a guess, ठीक है? Rakesh bhai is somewhere. Where do you think Rakesh bhai is? Bhai, crazy. I'm not giving any hints. But देखते हैं तुम में से समझदार कौन है. Rakesh bhai is doing an important job bhai right now. Oh भाई गिर गया यार मैं, गलत. Shit, my bad. गलत वाला दफ्तर रहता है यार मुझसे कुर्सी का, एक पीछे आके करने वाला, एक ऊपर नीचे करने वाला. Very important to know which direction you're going in. Yes, he is at the stadium bhai, and would love to know कि भाई कैसा चल रहा है वहां पे stuff. And Rakesh bhai bring us luck. Chess में उन्होंने कहा काम हुआ नहीं कुछ, तो let me just bring luck to the cricket stadium bhai. Interesting. 40K अल्ट्रा आने की बाद लगता है फर्स्ट मैचेस से काउंट होना जाता है. ये क्या है भाई, इसका मतलब समझ नहीं आया मुझे. हु इज जीएम जैंकोविच? आई हैव नो आइडिया किसकी बात कर रहे हो. ओह यू मीन दैट गाय क्या, द वन फ्रॉम क्रोएशिया मे बी. इंडिया विल विन एटलीस्ट 50 रन्स भाई. आई होप दे विन बिग. आई थिंक मजा आएगा, कॉन्फिडेंस अच्छा मिलेगा. सो मेनी सेलिब्रिटीज इंक्लूडिंग राकेश भाई स्टेडियम. एग्जैक्टली, पता है, आई एम नॉट किडिंग. आई सॉ दैट जो बॉक्स में वहां पे वो अंबानी की बीवी वाइफ बैठी है. देयर इज लाइक रणबीर कपूर, आलिया भट्ट, यू नो देयर चाइल्ड, एंड देयर इज अनिल कपूर एंड सो ऑन. मैं ढूंढ रहा था भाई राकेश भाई भी तो नहीं बैठे गलती से. अरे नो, आउटरीच, स्पॉन्सर आउटरीच कर रहे होंगे, या यू नो जस्ट कनेक्शन बिल्डिंग, बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट. Are you excited for tape segment? Yes भाई, I'm excited tape segment. बहुत मजा आएगा यार. अर्जुन वर्सेस मैग्नस एंड अर्जुन वर्सेस अपना वो क्या नाम है उसका, छुटकू 14 साल का बंदा. सारी फैमिली है. एग्जैक्टली भाई. चाहे आप इंडिया में, यू कुड बी अर्निंग 10,000 रुपीज अ मंथ और लाइक 10 billion रुपीज अ मंथ, एंड स्टिल यू वुड बी वाचिंग क्रिकेट. दैट इज लाइक अ यूनाइटिंग फैक्टर. क्रेजी है ना भाई. लाइक कुछ भी हो जाए, एवरीबडी वॉचेस क्रिकेट. लाइक इट्स क्रेजी. टिकू जी, ये क्या है भाई? कभी मेरा नाम भी ले लो भाई. तुम्हारा नाम है क्या? PRMOOD तो नाम नहीं होगा तुम्हारा? अडॉगमस, यस. पहले ही बॉल पर 4 भाई. मैं स्कोर देखे, चार मुझे अपडेट देना भाई, ठीक है? आई हैव नो आइडिया व्हाट्स हैपनिंग, सो यू हैव टू गिव मी अपडेट्स एज टू व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन द क्रिकेट मैच, ठीक है? सो तुम लोग मुझे अपडेट दोगे, हर ओवर में अपडेट देते रहना. मीनवाइल चैट, बोथ प्लेयर्स, गुकेश भी सोच रहे हैं यार स्कोर क्या हुआ होगा इंडिया के मैच में. ओके, देखते क्या होगा. When you have this much hype for Indian football, भाई यहाँ टेस्ट स्ट्रीम है भाई. मैंने सर भाई, हैव वी गॉन लाइव ऑन फुटबॉल 24 इंडिया अगेन? पहले कहा था भाई, ये गलती दोबारा नहीं करनी है. By the way, he did play. Oh, Bishop D4, another brilliance. And Gukesh ने एक सेकंड में मार दिया यार. So it feels like Gukesh is still in prep. That's great news. But how much better is it actually for Gukesh? I'm not sure. Okay, it takes B2 played. Bishop takes B2, Bishop takes B2, and Bishop 7 only move played instantly. Not sure Gukesh is even better in this position. Rakesh bhai क्यों बोल रहा? Rakesh bhai है ही नहीं. Wow. Chat. Because have you heard that Faustino lost his chance to become? Oh, did he lose that game? Oh, damn. यार एक last game में उसको win चाहिए था. It's really sad. Tikko, you and your wife should have been a World Champion. यार देखो, काम, like the thing is, वो भी जरूरी है भाई. And I think, oh, इंग्लैंड का इक्वली डाउन हो गया. Oh, nice. That's amazing भाई. मैं इंडिया से वेस्ट इंडीज क्यों सर्च किया भाई? आई हैव नो आइडिया. इंडिया वर्सेस क्या, मैं भाई क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? इंडिया वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड नहीं भाई, वो तो अगले मैच में होगा. इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड, यस. ओ, 13-0 दिखा रहा है भाई मुझे, लेकिन एक आउट हो गया. सही भाई, आप स्टेडियम में बैठे हो क्या? मैं देख रहा हूँ उस पे, गूगल पे. हाँ, हो गया आउट. हाँ, आ गया आ गया आ गया. ओ, एक आउट. नाइस नाइस नाइस. What if this is 20 move prep? Why this is 20 move prep? It absolutely is 20 move prep. And the accuracy is a good sign, like 99 accuracy of both players. But also how fast Mukesh is playing, I think should be a good enough sign. गूगल लेट बता भाई, चलेगा. तुम लोग हो ना चैट, तुम लोग हो मेरे गूगल भाई, तुम लोग हो मेरे जेमिनी, और तुम लोग ही हो मेरे चैट जीपीटी. क्या ही तो गेम है, 3 ब्रिलियंट इन 20 मूव्स. एग्जैक्टली भाई. एंड दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन प्लेयर्स आर प्लेइंग द बेस्ट मूव्स. And Vincent clearly out of prep. 39 minutes for Vincent. If White has some um, venom here in the position, let's put it that way. Like if he has some winning chances after, let's say, King H7, Queen C2 check. Let's have a look. Let's say King G8, Queen B2. I'm not sure if White has great winning chances, but if he would, let's say, imagine a world जहां पे White के पास there are certain variations जो Gukesh ने देखी है, जहां White gets some attacking chances like Rook E5, Rook G5. I don't know if that even works. आई थिंक ही कुड पोटेंशियली विन दिस, बिकॉज टाइम बहुत कम है. आप जब भी अच्छी प्रेप करते हो ना, व्हाट यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्ट, समटाइम्स होपिंग कि भाई ओपोनेंट गलती कर देगा, बट व्हाट यू आर रियली प्रैक्टिकली होपिंग इज कि भाई ओपोनेंट को सही मूव निकालने में इतना टाइम लगेगा कि जब एक्चुअल गेम चालू होगी, देन इट माइट बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर हिम टू फाइंड द बेस्ट, बिकॉज टाइम कम बचेगा. सो ओपोनेंट को बहुत टाइम लगेगा सोचने में. दैट्स व्हाट गुकेश हैज डन वेरी वेल हियर. सो 20 मूव तक गुकेश डूइंग वेरी वेरी वेल सो फार. आउट है, एक और गया क्या भाई? ऐसे आराम से भाई. अच्छा, भी नहीं क्या. दुलीप योर, अबे ये क्या है भाई? Vikesh needs some tactics, better time play, not choke when needed the most. Agree भाई, agree. And Queen C2 check played instantly by Gukesh. क्या पता विंस ने Gukesh ने साथ में ही प्रेप करी हो, और अगर नहीं करी तो विंसन कह रहा है अकेले अकेले भाई था, इतना बड़ा हो गया तू, साथ में प्रेप किया करते थे हम, अब तू इतना अकेले करने लगा प्रेप, वो भी मेरे अगेंस्ट. This is what most players do against Duki. Tiku, what is Dukesh's real power? Yeah, I think his real power is getting win after win. So sometimes Dukesh, once he gets a couple of wins, can just keep winning. Like ऐसे streak पे जाता है वैसे Fabiano की तरह. So जो बहुत कम player कर पाते हैं actually. So I think for Dukesh, confidence is more of an issue than other players. Like अगर he is in form, मान लो यहाँ 2 गेम जीत गया ना वो, तो अगला इवेंट जो भी खेल रहा है ना वहां पे बच के रहना सब. So he will gain that momentum. So I think Gukesh Dommaraju confidence player hai, and that's why he's playing so horribly because confidence itna low hai. If he wins this game, then kal jo bhi khel raha hai unke against, I think Gukesh is going to win. If he wins today, he wins tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Like I can genuinely bet Maggie's Sahaj bhai ke sath if he was here. So yeah. Jonas Divya shot on. Yeah, of course, man. It was like ऐसे Jonas देख रहा है. Draw. Divya. Draw. ड्रॉ. अरे भाई ये क्या चल रहा है भाई, देख लो यार, बेचारा ड्रॉ पूछ रहा है यार. ऑफ कोर्स 1 मिलियन व्यूज आएंगे. डज मोमेंटम एग्जिस्ट चेस? ऑफ कोर्स मैन, इट डज. ही नीड्स फॉर्म लाइक अभिषेक शर्मा. भाई अभिषेक शर्मा मतलब इज लाइक यू नो, इट्स लाइक मतलब आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू कंपेयर हिम टू. लाइक ही इज लाइक मतलब चिलिंग इन लाइफ. मतलब 20 ओवर में 4 बॉल खेलता है बंदा, एंड बाकी टाइम पे बाकी लोग से मेहनत करता है. लव हिम. द मोस्ट रिलैक्स जॉब इन द वर्ल्ड. I would rather watch Divya than Gukesh. Why everybody has their क्या बोलते हैं preferences. Why would you watch Divya's game over Gukesh's game though? Is it like you're disappointed with Gukesh's performance या क्या सीन है? टाइम प्रेशर में आना आ जाए गुकी भाई. नहीं नहीं भाई, गुकी बहुत आगे टाइम पे भाई, बहुत आगे है. एंड लुक एट हिज बॉडी लैंग्वेज बाय द वे. विंसेंट को लग रहा होगा भाई पोजीशन तो इक्वल लग रही है, और गुकेश जब से बैठा हुआ है, क्या मैं क्वीन डाउन हूं? मुझे दिख नहीं, मुझे इसको दिख रही है क्वीन, पर क्या वो बोर्ड पे नहीं है? बिकॉज मुकेश इतना खतरनाक फॉर्म से बैठा हुआ है. मुकेश अभिषेक दोनों का डाउनफॉल है. नहीं भाई, अभिषेक का तो अभी अपफॉल चालू ही नहीं हुआ. Mukesh is fine with draw. Yeah, देखो, if Vincent plays a great game, of course he's fine with a draw. What Mukesh doesn't need is a loss. But knowing कि prep में फंसा लिया है Vincent को, look at the clock right now. Like Mukesh has more than double the time. Of course, he would love to win this if possible. So he's gonna find variations. Let's have a look. So let's say King G8. I mean, should be the obvious move. Queen B2, Queen D5. I was wondering about this move, Rook E5, with the idea of Rook G5 next. So let's say you play, I don't know, Queen D6. Can I play Rook G5? Is it real? Oh, F6 and black is better. यार सहाज भाई के रूल जब भी ब्रेक करते हैं तो मतलब मेरी चेस समझ में नहीं आती. इतनी आदत हो गई है सहाज भाई के साथ एनालाइज करने की कि F6 दिमाग में नहीं आया. Oof, tough move. So we can't play this. Then maybe we just take, yeah? Like let's say King G8, Queen B2, Queen D5, Queen B4. But then this should be a draw, no? This should be probably a draw. Although white can still push. Knight F3, Queen F4, by the way, knight coming in. Yeah, but very close to a draw though. Let's see. ठीक भाई, आपको आपकी एक्स की कसम भाई, कौन सी वाली? ठीक भाई, इट्स अरे अरे यो सत्य भाई, व्हाट्स अप भाई? आई मेट सत्य भाई एट द वर्ल्ड चैंपियन ब्लिट्स भाई. वाज फन टू मीट हिम एंड वी एक्सचेंज सम क्रेजी स्टोरीज जो कभी तुम्हें नहीं बताऊंगा. चैट सीक्रेट है. Somehow Mukesh is not informed, but he will get back hopefully. Yeah, देखो, he has to. He has no other option. In fact, I saw that Fabi video जहाँ पे it's I think who is it that African American GM, I keep forgetting his name. Yaar, what's wrong with my memory? And he's asking Fabi ki, okay Fabi, what's your take on all the Indians losing form? Yeah. And Fabi's like, भाई ठीक है, मतलब हाँ थोड़ा होता है कई बार ये सब. Like even he didn't have a clear answer, so everybody is confused actually as to, yes, Maurice Ashley, like everybody is confused कि सारे Indians का downfall साथ में कैसे चालू हो गया. So yeah, let's see. I think it's just a matter of time when they slowly start catching up, and it should be okay. Meanwhile, I saw the score. England is struggling. That's great to know. Meanwhile, Vincent Keymer sits up straight, still not playing the move. He has 34 minutes. Needs to be quicker though. Active tournament. Which tournament, bhai? Chess India. Nightmarish tournament for me, bhai. कितनी rating गवाया था मैं वहाँ पे. This is like last year, yeah? Oh my God. That was my last tournament. So खेलना ही छोड़ दिया जैसे मैंने भाई. Hikaru also went for Taiso 270 and then back to Taiso. But Hikaru is different, man. Like Hikaru is a speciality. You know, like he did something. वो stream करते करते 2800 पे रहा यार. Like that's insane. So we can't compare Hikaru to normal people. Meanwhile, chat, I'm gonna quickly jump to Divya's game for a second. Let's have a look. कि क्या चल रहा है? Any updates there? No, actually, her opponent is still thinking, and that means he काफी complicated है. Going to Arvind's game now. Oh, Queen f3 was played, e5 castles and bishop to e7. So Arvind so far playing good chess. I think this bishop slowly might come to b6. You might play h6 first at some point to prevent bishop g5. But yeah, this might happen at some point, and that's a great bishop to have on the board. Also very important, c6 controlling the d5, b5 squares. So this knight is rather stupid, and Arvind is very close to equality. Because rook d1 is kind of irritating maybe. Maybe queen e6 खेलना पड़ेगा, but I think overall position looks decent for Arvind. And finally Surya, okay, he is almost equalized. He was almost lost, but somehow c5 liberated him, and e4 was a mistake. Knight f d7 was a brilliant find. So very complicated game, but Surya is striking back. So that's good news. By the way, updates in the Gukesh game. King g8 was played. Queen takes b2. Bishop taken by Gukesh. And now let's see with which piece will Vincent Keymer grab the pawn. Don't you think you have taken retirement a bit earlier? Anyway, I would play. I would love to play chess. At some point, I will. I think Iron title is something which I feel if I put in like a year of effort, I should get it. Like it should not be too difficult, even without investing too much money and time. Like it should be possible to do. But my life doesn't change necessarily from getting the Iron title. So maybe I'll do it later. उसके लिए कोई expiry date तो नहीं है. Hopefully Iron title की. Hopefully if it doesn't change or scrap the Iron title, should be okay. Why are Fabi and Naka not playing in Norway Chess? Very hard to know, but I think Hikaru is obvious. He mentioned last year at Norway Chess itself that I'm not going to play classical chess too much. This might be the last time you've seen me and Magnus play. So it made a lot of sense. He recently became a dad. So he wants to focus on his personal life and, of course, streaming. So that is very, very logical. And finally, coming to Fabi. Fabi, it's hard to know. Why is he not playing? I am assuming he's hoping to win the candidates. He's hoping to win the candidates and then automatically prepare for the World Championship and not reveal some prep. I'm guessing that is one of the reasons. How much PX rating Gukesh hit in future? Oh my God, that's a tough question. I would assume a Taiso should be easy. Like he at some point will hit Taiso. Uske aage kitna jayega is a tough one. Hikaru retire, Fabi win the candidates and chill. Yeah, I'm not sure if Fabi will win the candidates. I think it's very tough to win the candidates. पता है उसका reason क्या है? Reason ये है कि usually you don't take the best practical decisions. So for example, let's say Fabi has a good start. He wins the first two games or has two out of three or 2.5 out of 3. By the way, C5. Oh, C5 played. Bhai, that's an opportunity for both players. Let's have a look at this. After C5, what Vincent is essentially saying is, कि bhai, I have a passed pawn and you have broken pawns. Let's say you play h3. I'm going to take this pawn next and I'm basically, much, much better here. I don't know how Bar is saying it's close to equal. Apparently rook e5 is the only move, but like Vincent is saying I'm better. But Vincent maybe has underestimated this move, knight to c4. And the idea is you can't take the pawn now. Knight b6 forks the queen and rook. So if you can't take on d5, then Gukesh has the strongest passed pawn on the board. Why? This could give Gukesh a sniff here of an advantage. And you can see, he was playing instantly up till now, and now he sank into a deep thought. So he knows that this best move nahi hai. It's not in the top 2-3 preferences of the engine. So let's see what happens. Very interesting choice by Vincent, who's maintaining winning chances. He's not seen this position before. So he's playing what he thinks is best, but it's not the best. And now knight c4, only move for Gukesh Dommaraju. By the way, also there's a crazy variation that is queen e5, also possible. You defend the pawn physically. And now f6 is the only move. You sack the pawn with queen g3. Queen takes d5 and now rook e7. Essentially threatening mate, and it is simply a repetition, a draw. So this is also a possibility. So it could be a very good draw. And if queen e5, is a quick draw. Knight c5 is a very, very complicated long game. Let's see which one Gukesh goes for. Where is Sahaj? Sahaj Bhai is in South Africa. He's stuck by. I just had a call with him today. He's stuck in South Africa, hoping he gets a flight. Will be very important. Bhai, we need him for the next event. He defend the pawn physically, of course. Bhai. इनडायरेक्ट नहीं है भाई आपने खुद वहां बगल में बैठ के ऐसे शोल्डर में हाथ रख के पॉन मैं भाई तेरे साथ है कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता सॉरी बहन क्वीन है ना Next event is the candidates chat. So candidates hoga and will be important. Of course, we are assuming everything goes according to plan. Yeah, because at the end, a lot is happening in the world as we know, and there were a couple of attacks or something in Cyprus. कुछ तो हुआ था मैंने सुना है. So let's see क्या होता है. Hopefully it goes as planned. स्क्रीन ऐसे ही रखा करो तिको आपका फेस के साथ फुल कैम या कई बार ना प्लेयर्स के एक्सप्रेशंस ही दिखते हैं यहाँ से. That's the only problem. Play भाई knight c4 best move played by Gukesh. And now Vincent has to be careful, I think, because this d pawn could become very strong. Super important. Next move, cheat कर दिया queen ने. नहीं वैसा कुछ नहीं है. Are you watching Welcome? I'm not watching here actually. Welcome. Rakesh Bhai is in Wankhede and Sahaj Bhai would love to be in Wankhede, but he's stuck in South Africa. आज के लिए तुम और मैं है चैट. आज के लिए तुम और मैं और क्रिकेट मैच 3 लोग. भाई इंडिया वहां भी जीत रहा है यहां भी जीत जाए तो बस मजा आ जाए क्या स्कोर हुआ आई एम चेकिंग ओह 30-1 लुकिंग ग्रेट फॉर इंडिया बिशप e6 कैन टेक द नाइट भाई इजंट इट जस्ट अ फ्री पीस ये प्यादा लाइक ऐसे कैप्चर करता है ऐसे ऐसे समझे समझे ऐसे डायगनली सीधा नहीं यू शुड प्ले स्टैंडर्ड कौन सा किसका स्टैंडर्ड भाई माय स्टैंडर्ड्स आर वेरी लो बाय द वे सो इट्स ओके did Vincent see this or he wanted to win? I think he was playing what he thought was best. Maybe he underestimated knight c4 a bit. Gukesh to घर से देख के आया line, so of course he knows कि c5 wasn't the best. Vincent doesn't know this, and he's trying to win. He knows Gukesh is not in form. He wants to beat Gukesh. तेरे बोलते ही 6 लग गया अरे कभी तो 6 मारेंगे ना भाई वो भी मतलब क्या मतलब it's not like it's the Pakistan cricket team. Yeah, they're also England. थोड़ा बहुत तो मारेंगे. Vincent needs to play very fast. That's exactly my point. Gukesh ने जो भी prep निकाली, Black still found the best moves, but now he has no time. Look at the clock. 50 minute पीछे है Vincent Keymer right now. Bhai, this is the best chance Gukesh has had in the entire tournament to win a game. Meanwhile, Gukesh looking very chill right now. Vincent Keymer, yeah, he needs to play quickly. He has no time remaining. गुकेश के चांसेस बढ़ते हुए बाय द वे बाकी तीनों गेम में डेड इक्वल है नो मूव्स इन द अरविंद गेम सूर्या में कुछ मूव्स आई हैं बट ओके विल कम टू दैट लेटर दिव्या आल्सो आई थिंक ओनली वन मूव प्लेड सो नथिंग क्रेजी गोइंग ऑन लेट्स टेक हियर एक और क्या क्या भाई कोई अक्सर लिख रहा है फायर आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट्स लाइक अ विकेट या आउट हो गया चैट कम ऑन यार अपडेट दो मिस्ट्री हो रही है मीनवाइल देखते हैं क्या होता है चैट गुकेश थिंकिंग आउट गया अरे नाइस 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 भाई नाइस नाइस इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड फिर से वो देखते हैं यस 30 for 2 दैट्स अमेजिंग भाई 10 रन पर ओवर भी नहीं खेल रहे यार ये लोग तो मीनवाइल भाई आज तो डिनर करने का टाइम आ गया बट यार कोई है नहीं कमेंटेटर सो लेट्स गो फुल स्क्रीन भाई आज हम फुल स्क्रीन जाके डिनर करेंगे चैट सो इफ यू हियर मी मंचिंग ऑन समथिंग it's not Gukesh's rating it's my food भाई taking that as a no for what भाई भाई अकेले हैं आज बिल्कुल भाई लाइफ में अकेले ही पैदा हुए थे अकेले ही जाना है सो अकेले ही बैठे हैं नहीं नहीं आई थिंक जस्ट किडिंग आई थिंक आएंगे आएंगे भाई लोग क्या खा रहे हो भाई क्या लगता है तुम्हें क्या खा लूंगा मैं one of the players said that Wankhede should be quiet today ha 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 भाई it might be quiet after the celebrations if लोग थक जाएंगे लोग they might be falling on the floor Rohit Sharma is watching भाई Dhoni is there Rohit Sharma is there I think Neeta Ambani is there Ranveer Kapoor is there Alia Bhatt is there Anil Kapoor is there I think बहुत सारे लोग देखे यार मैंने stands में like it was crazy please find a logical bad move in this game. You mean tick को test करना है? I think rook e8. I think might be a bad move, which looks very logical. Oh, it's not a bad move. Wow. Wow, chat. Wait, it's the best move? Wait, what? Wow. Maybe I am बन सकता हूँ. Wow, मुझे सब दिखाई दे रहा है माँ. Wow, crazy. Thank you, Shreyash bhai. I mean, 21 over rating rapid. What should I focus on next offline? I think you should focus on analyzing your games. Get in touch with a stronger player. Show them your games, and get their opinion on what you should work on. Because 21 over rapid is already pretty strong, so you need personalized advice. As a random advice might not be work for you. Tigo improvement, exactly my point. Bhai, I'm getting better. Yeah, that's crazy. I hate full screen view. भाई आपकी सुंदर शक्ल भाई बस मैं डिनर कर लूं साथ खाते खाते कमेंट्री उसके बाद मैं शक्ल दिखाता हूं यार. Oh, by big mistake by Vincent Keymer. Let's go. By the moves are backfiring. And chat, very important moment. Only move for Gukesh here. And he has to find knight to e3. Defending the pawn. You can't push these pawns because b4 is hanging. That will be lost. And this knight is played by Gukesh. आज फॉर्म में लग रहा है भाई. Wow, this is crazy यार. Gukesh ने 93 instantly kill दिया. I think he might still be in prep. And he's playing so quickly. Look at Vincent's clock. 27 minutes to play 17 moves. It's not going to be easy. 93 played on the board. And let's look at this deeper now. So what is Black's plan? So let's say Black plays rook e8 now. Let's try to understand the move I thought of earlier. Now rook a c1 is close to winning. You play rook c8 to defend the c5 pawn. And knight f5 is lost. Look at this queen g7 minute over here. And that is why 93 is so strong. Knight f5 is incoming. Vincent Keymer in huge trouble actually here. Wow. रिस्क है तो इश्क है. बिल्कुल भाई. लाइफ में रिस्क लेना चाहिए यार. जाओ भाई क्लास बंक करके जाके मतलब स्पोर्ट्स खेलो. इफ यू वांट टू बी अ क्रिकेटर जाओ भाई. डेट पे पूछना किसी को पूछो भाई. द वर्स्ट शी कैन से इज नो. शी कैन से अदर थिंग्स. जाओ भाई ओपोनेंट को मेट करो यार. अटैक करो किंग साइड पे भाई. क्या फर्क होता है. गेम हार जाओगे 10 जीतोगे यार. इतना खुश मत हो जाओ भाई. आज मैं खुश हूं भाई. मेरी खुशी कोई छीनेगा नहीं. आज जीते हैं गुकेश भाई. बस बहुत हो गया. बहुत दुख सह लिया जिंदगी में. पिछले 10 दिन से दुखी सह रहे हैं भाई. दुखी खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. 2 महीने हो गए. महीने जैन फेब दोनों निकल गए. दुखी हो रहा है भाई. तो आज मार्च से हम चिल करेंगे. Ivali's, I think, actually plus 0.7. In fact, the best two moves for black are ridiculous. First of all, one move is queen f6, which is very hard to find. Okay, it might avoid checkmate, let's say. But after takes, I mean, I have one passed pawn. I have two passed pawns. I will rook a c1. I'm going to grab this one. And I say, let's have rook a c8 khelte ho. Like, it's very hard. Knight f5 already close to winning. So the chances of you making a mistake are very, very high. So this doesn't look that tempting. The best move is bishop d3. And maybe it makes sense, but what do you do after rook a d1? How do you defend the bishop? If you go bishop here, by the way, fine if you have d3. If bishop here, for example, then of course I'm going to start pushing the d pawn and queen this. So you can't push the bishop. You have to find rook a3, which is already very difficult. Very awkward move, right? Not easy to find. And if you play c4, then I'm going to take this pawn and yeah. Oh, wow. Look at this. Chat. I thought ye marna hai, but that's the second best move. The best move is boom. Take the damn bishop, takes, and knight f5 threatening mate. Wow. Wow. And look at this. If you play queen f6, chat, knight e7 check. Look at this beautiful position. King h7, and Chad white to play. Come on, Chad white to play. This could actually happen. This could actually happen. White to play, Chad. Come on, only move. Come on, Chad. Come on. Yes, Mike. Rook to e3. Sacking the queen, but rook h3 is checkmate. Oh, by beautiful position. So, ऐसी tactics possible hai if you play c4. So, come on, Gukesh. Rook d1 now. Best move. Bring the rook into the game. आज गुकेश on fire लग रहे हैं भाई. Come on, Gukesh. We have to go for it. Rook d1. Rather, the other moves, queen d2 also strong, rook d1 strong, but rook d1 doesn't make sense because I might need the rook on the open file. So rook d1 a lot more sense. Queen b2 also well placed, right? Because knight f5 is an idea. That's why he played bishop d3 to avoid knight f5. So keeping the queen here makes a lot of sense. So I don't think he's gonna, move the queen. I don't think he's gonna move this rook. So rook d1 kind of is an automatic move now. Come on. Okay, this is the opportunity. This is the game we've been waiting for, chat. I think this is the best position he's had all event. Come on. Amazing chess so far. And is it amazing cricket also so far? Just checking. Oh, England is fighting back by. Oof, they suddenly hit a few runs. 26 runs add हो गए तब से. विकेट गया क्या? ओ नाइस टाइमिंग भाई. चैट तुम क्या मस्त भाई. मैं चेस की बढ़िया अपडेट दो, तुम क्रिकेट की बढ़िया अपडेट दो भाई. लेट्स हैव दिस म्यूचुअल रिलेशनशिप. ठीक है चैट, डन. क्रेजी प्रिपेयर गुकेश, एब्सोल्युटली. एंड कई लोग कह रहे थे, याद है कि गुकेश की टीम है, किसी को ये कर दो, ही शुड फायर हिज टीम, आई डोंट नो क्या. वही टीम ने निकाला है भाई ये आइडिया, बाय द वे. तो गुकेश टीम इज एब्सोल्युटली टॉप नॉच. बट विंसेंट काइमर खुद उनकी टीम में थे. सो आई डोंट नो, लेट्स सी. And also, chat, let's say rook d1, rook a3. कोई, are you kidding me? Wait, what? रोहन खन्ना जी, ये कहां से निकाली अपनी वेरिएशन? Wait, what? Chat, do you know? Okay, best move here is d6 with the idea कि अगर आप queen takes d6 free pawn मारते हो, then there is knight c4 forking the pieces and you can't take. Fair enough. But do you know what the second best move is here? Any guesses? Any guesses start with the second best move in the position? There's no way. There is no way. This is a legal move. The second best move is queen takes a3. What the hell is this? Rook takes d3, and apparently this is good enough compensation. How? Okay, this is not happening. There's no way. Okay, this is so hard to predict because here pawn bhi hai yaar. If somehow black wins a2, black is just winning on the spot. And this pawn is still far away. And you don't have the same attack now, do you? Like knight f5, rook g3 is not as strong as the queen coming on b2. So, okay, very unlikely this happens. But what an idea, yeah? The Indian loves it. I am in hall. ये तो साफ सफाई हॉल की आप ही करते हो क्या? Makes no sense. I agree. Very hard. By the way, 25 minutes for Vincent. So what Gukesh wants to do is really go for the kill here. You don't want to exchange queens. You don't want to exchange a lot of pawns. You want to really pile on the pressure. This is the moment where you can take extra risk because आपका opponent time पे struggle कर रहा है. Especially if you can find an option which your opponent has not seen in his calculations. I think this could be an easy win for Gukesh. Easy is an understatement, of course, but this could be a big moment. Of the tide could turn again. No, tomorrow is the last day, chat, and tomorrow the round starts early. By the way, he played Rook ED1, so he plays the. Wow. Actually, chat, Rook at D1 was what we were considering, and that was one of the best moves. Um, but Rook at D1 is almost as equally strong, in fact. So it's very, very strong, very nice move. And now C4 pay, you can just take the pawn because this pawn is not hanging. So it's somehow simpler for white to win if it makes sense. Because आपका A2 pawn नहीं मर रहा है. And you just want a pawn, you still have your pass pawn and this is hanging. So very practical play. If you can't play C4, you can't move the bishop back also because then D6, I mean, this is just close to winning. So you have to play Rook A3 essentially. Rook A3 only move for Vincent Keymer here. I think this might be practically a better weapon from Gukesh than we actually predicted. So great move. And let's have a look at this move, Rook A3 now. Rook A3 defending the bishop, very logical, theek hai. Humne khela. But what is Gukesh's best plan? Is it still... Bhai, no way. The best move still D6. Second best move still Queen takes A3. Still Queen takes A3. There is no way on earth this is going to be happening on the board, bhai. By the way, Rook A3 on the board by Vincent Keymer. Okay, D6 is the best move now. D6 best move and Queen takes A3 is a surprise weapon. I don't think Gukesh will go for it though. Chat, one look at the Divya game because chat demand kar rahi hai. Just one side took. She is slightly better after, I think, before knight. Yeah, G6 खेला उन्होंने. Knight D5. Queen D5 was a slight error by her opponent. Bishop E3 defending the pawn. Bishop G7. Rook C1. And this is the current position. Rook C5 आ रहा है, Knight C3 आ रहा है, B5 आ रहा है, and Divya is definitely better. Look at the bishop on C8. If the bishop was, let's say, on F5, G4, I don't know, somewhere, I think it would be a decent position. But currently, she's just a piece up because black खेल ही नहीं रहा है bishop के साथ. And Rook C5 is coming. Queen को दोबारा हिलना पड़ेगा. Divya in a great position here. Good chances to win this. And clockwise be, okay, she's behind, but it's manageable right now. So great push for Divya. Let's go to Gukesh again and see what will he play here? Super important moment in this game. Show Arvind's game. We have had a look at it. I think it's close to equal. By the way, queens have been traded off. Just one brief look. Yeah, queen b3 takes. I think very high chances of a draw here. Basically, Jorden is leading the event. He wants to play it safe. He doesn't want to risk anything. And that's why he's playing a calmer game than he would usually. So very safe choice. And maybe Arvind can use it to an advantage, yeah? He can basically head off into an equal end game जहां पे धीरे धीरे करके he can start to gain minor advantages, वो ड्रॉ का वो ऐसे बोलते हैं ना बेट हैंग करना है यहाँ पे यॉर्डन के सामने. हाँ, मिल रहा है ड्रॉ and you can slowly drag your opponent into a slightly worse position and push. So bishop c5, for example, very logical move, and black is completely fine. So Arvind, no issues whatsoever. Now going back to Gukesh, he's still thinking, but crucial moment in the game. भाई कल की गेम मुकेश बहुत बढ़िया चल. If you missed yesterday, after struggling in this event, yesterday he drew a game, but it was so convincing against Maghsoodloo. And today he's back at it so far. Great chess. And he's up on the clock by what margin now? Bhai, he's way ahead. Alvin looks tired. I mean, of course, yeah, yesterday was exhausting for him. Yeah, he was completely winning. But okay, that's professional chess for you. You have to have the capacity to strike back even when you're down. And down is indeed Vincent Keymer's time as well. So कैसे handle करेंगे यहाँ पे? I don't think his world championship. Yeah, Vincent would know his world championship. Good point, actually, by Mr. COD. Oh, COD. Chat, by the way, एक पोल डाल रहा हूं मैं. Just curious. if whatever your answer is, would love to know. Meanwhile, what do you think is the reason for Gukesh's downfall? I think it's multiple reasons. We discussed this briefly before. But one of the main reasons is Gukesh is clearly a confidence player. We can see him score 8 on 8 in the Olympiad. How he managed to do so is because he is so high on confidence that he can attack anybody in the world. So when he's doing really well, he is doing really, really well. And when he's doing badly, he's doing really, really badly. And this is not the only occasion, by the way. In fact, मुझे याद है जब Gukesh got to 2750 for the first time, he became India number one in the live ratings. Vichy sir को cross करके, there was nobody else there at that point. He lost like 30, 40, 50 points in 1 month. So it's happened before once, and then he gained all of it back and more. So he is that player who could have that slump occasionally, जहाँ पे he will lose a bunch of ratings. So let's see क्या होता है. मराठी बोल. Actually सीखनी है मराठी. मेरी माय वाइफ इज फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र, से सीखनी तो है, सीखेंगे. अभी तो काइज अलग आता है मुझे. How does it prepare for a game? I mean, opening moves. I think there's teams, usually they're preparing for multiple years. And sometimes an old preparation you've done 6 months back can happen on the board. Sometimes it's 2 years back, sometimes 6 years back. In fact, there have been cases जहाँ पे लोगों ने कुछ 15 साल पहले लाइन देखी थी and it comes on the board 15 years later. Garry Kasparov once said, in fact, he said it after he retired, I looked at so many lines in my life and I barely got to use like 20% of it. So 80% of all the preparation Garry Kasparov ever did in his life, he never got to use over the board. That tells you the preparation is very, very, it's like बहुत कुछ lines देखनी पड़ती है, board पे कुछ ही आती है. And of course, before the game, you look at your opponent's recent games, कि क्या openings वो खेल रहे हैं, किस opening में उनकी preference है, कोई opening weakness है उनकी. But in a round robin event, you can do this at home also because you know your opponent's names and you can do it at home. Same for the candidates, by the way. So d6 is the best move. You can't take this because knight c4 again. The bishop is pinned, so you will lose the rook. And उसके बाद क्या खेलना है? So after d6, black could just play rook e8, for example. And the idea, surprisingly, is still queen takes a3, pawn takes and rook d3. So the best weapon for Gukesh is indeed a queen sacrifice, चाहे वो अभी हो यहाँ पे या वो d6 के बाद हो. So queen takes a3 is the golden principle, the way to win for Gukesh Dommaraju here. That's insane. भाई 2 बॉल 2 छक्के, क्या बात कर रहे हैं भाई? इज इंग्लैंड कमिंग बैक? क्या मुझे कांपना चाहिए? व्हाट डू यू थिंक चैट? आउट हो गया क्या? अरे नाइस 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 चैट. ऐसी ऐसी खबर सुनाओ, ऐसी खबर सुनाओ. Meanwhile, मेरा इंजन रुके c1 दिखा रहा है. आई थिंक दैट्स आल्सो अ डिसेंट मूव. इट्स नॉट अ बैड वन. बट आगे बढ़ो. रुके c1, क्वीन d6 के बाद क्या दिखा रहा है भाई? अब बताओ क्या दिखा रहा है? अभी भी क्वीन टेक्स a3 दिखा रहा होगा एक्चुअली. सो व्हाटएवर यू डू, you have to take that rook, otherwise you're not better actually. Gukesh, I think Gukesh ने opening इतनी deep prepare करी है. It's possible he might have seen this idea before, because if he has not seen this idea at home, किसी और variation में, he might not find it actually. It's very tough. That's why Vincent Keymer also maybe did not, went into this, because he didn't see queen takes a3. David Joseph video has 2 million views. Really? इतने बढ़ के मैंने लास्ट देखा था, it was 800K. I'm checking. Actually curious now. You're thinking, let's hope so. I hope if first place d6 though, because that's the better version. That would be insane. भाई it has 3.1 million views now. Wow. भाई 3.1 million views. That's crazy. अमेजिंग भाई, हमारे एडिटर्स फाड़ू है भाई, फाड़ू, फाड़ू एडिटर्स, फाड़ू एडिट. Yeah, so let's say that, let's look at the best version and try to understand why this is so strong. So let's say I play d6 and you play rook e8. Now I do sack my queen casually right now because I've seen it multiple times, and takes. Now black को ये pawn चाहिए. अगर ये pawn मिल गया, then black can try to attack this pawn and then slowly try to queen this one. So that's the concept. Let's say queen f6, attacking the rook. Now let's say when rook at d1 खेला, I think we do have a move, I think, from Gukesh. He played d6. He finds the best move yet again. Bhai, he finds that move, but will he find the next move? That's the question. It's not necessary, by the way. If, for example, black were to go queen h4, then even knight d5 is an exceptional move. So it's not forced, but in most variations, it is. So it depends on what black does. After rook e8, for example, which is very logical here, I think, that is the move indeed. Queen takes a3. Ikloti chal hai. Let's have a look. So rook e8, queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Queen f6 now, attacking the rook. Rook a d1, trying to push this pawn. Rook d8, of course, stopping it. And how do we defend now? How are we winning this? If you take here, I take here. That is not looking great, right? Next is, this is also incoming. Back rank issues for the white king, by the way. So how do we win this chat? I'm not so sure. I'm trying to understand, but it's not clear. If we play d7, queen e6, and this knight is kind of dominated by the queen. Maybe rook, but rook d6, there is queen a2, and suddenly black could start winning. Yeah. So maybe rook d5, blocking this, and now I'm going to move the knight in. So let's say black plays g6, stopping this knight. How do we move forward? Knight c4. Oh. Ooh, that is the resource for black. Bhai, this is tough. And he plays rook e8. So crunch moment. And you know what? If you play a random move like g3, black can start attacking. Boom. Pawn takes e3, queen d6, and suddenly ये diagonal पे जो attack लगने वाला है, black is already better. So Gukesh has, walked into the lion's den with a weapon in his hand, and now he needs to strike. If he doesn't strike, the lion will eat him. Bro, Divya will always go viral, not because of hater. Bhai, not every reel of Divya goes viral. I mean, otherwise you would only post Divya reels. If that was the case, we love views. Everybody loves views. I don't think that's the case. Certainly, Ukesh is an outstanding player at this stage with huge mental pressure, but if fair, he's only preparing for World Championship because he will cost everything. No, I think that will be a wrong strategy. He knows कि खाली World Championship तैयारी करना means कि आप बाकी tournaments neglect कर रहे हो. You might lose rating, you might lose confidence. Every tournament matters. He has seen Queen A3. Let's hope so, bhai. I am hoping, but is it really winning is the question. Is Queen A3 really winning? I'm not so convinced just yet. Chat, super important moment in the game. Do like the stream. And मुझे creator updates देते रहो. He can lose this, to be honest. He can. He absolutely can. It's a 3 result position. And जिस तरह से stare दिया Gukesh ने अभी, thank God we were full screen. Queen takes A3 is definitely on his radar right now. भाई क्वीन सैक दे देगा तो आई डोंट नो द रिजल्ट आफ्टर द क्वीन सैक बट वुड बी वेरी क्रेजी. अमन को कोई ऑयल, ये ऑयल क्या होता है भाई? क्यों तेल लगाने की जल्दी है आपको? है क्यों तेल लगाने की जल्दी है? हुँ? क्या है भाई, क्या चाहिए तुम्हें? Oh, he takes the book. Wow, why queen sacrifice brilliancy by Gukesh, the world champion. Wow, and takes the pawn. Bhai sahab. Vincent, is he shocked? Do you see some surprise on his face? Not really. I think he was expecting it. Wow, what a move. But the question remains, is it really winning? Is it really giving White good winning chances? That's the major question to ask. And it's not so clear. But Gukesh finding all the best ideas so far with an accuracy of 99%, doing very well right now. How many moves can a strong GM calculate? I think it depends on the position, kitni variations hai, kitne moves hai, kitne candidate moves hai. If you don't know what candidate moves are, can recommend a book called Think Like a GM by Alexander Kotov. But candidate moves are kitne moves you consider going deeper into. For example, यहाँ पे पिछली चाल में गुकेश ने बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट्स देखे होंगे. उन्हें देखा होगा यहाँ पे S3 देखा होगा शायद, रुक के C1 देखा होगा, क्वीन A3 देखा होगा. So the moves you consider in a particular position are candidate moves, and the deeper you can go is it's very hard to predict. In an endgame it's easier. जहाँ कम पीस होते हैं, you can go very deep into a certain variation. 20, 25, 30 मूव तक सोचना possible रहता है. But in the middle game, sometimes 5 moves, 10 moves is pretty deep. So it depends. After queen position, can't you play knight d5? I think you mean here. So let's say here, rook a d1, rook d8, d7 here, and knight d5. I'm guessing you mean this. But again, black is going to employ the same strategy. He's going to sack the exchange. You might give a check here and think, okay, I'm winning the exchange, but now queen b2. And suddenly I am about to take this pawn. This pawn is rushing through. And if you play rook d2, for example, Chad, I'm going to ask you a question. So black to play. What is black's best move in this position? Come on, chat. This is like great training. Like this is, if this puzzle was offered to me, I would be like very excited. Kya hai? Black to play, best move. Amazing chat. You're absolutely on point. C4. What a move. You take, and these two pawns are stronger than the rook. Resigns and black wins. So that's why I think अगर ये pawn गया, I don't think Gukesh wins, unfortunately. You would need to win this, and like, if you can get this pawn and this rook both for the knight, then yes. By the queen s6 played, as we expected, and rook a d1 should be an automatic move. Rook hanging here, by the way. एक और विकेट गया. अरे नाइस भाई, नाइस. भाई पर स्कोर तो अच्छा है यार. अभी भी स्कोर इज प्रीटी नाइस. आई नो विकेट्स गए हैं, बट स्कोर लुक्स नाइस फॉर इंग्लैंड राइट नाउ. Is this position a draw? I think it could be not a draw, but it's closer to a draw than we thought initially. Let's put it this way. Like after rook a d1, rook d8, winning here will require a long game from Gukesh. जहाँ पे धीरे धीरे पहले g3 खेला, h4, king g2, slowly but surely you bring the knight here somewhere, somehow take this pawn. Like धीरे धीरे जीतनी पड़ेगी. It will not be like an instant win in 5 moves. Very interesting position, chat. Both players thinking 22 minutes for Vincent Keymer. That is the big problem here. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the Divya game. She was better after rook c1, rook d8 played, rook c5, great move, queen d6 back, bishop g5. So every move is coming with a tempo, and looks like she has a great position, and her opponent is definitely under pressure. So Divya slightly better here. Surya also, by the way, completely equalized. He was almost losing earlier, but completely equal now. And Aravindh Chithambaram as well, completely equal. So आज का दिन Indian players के लिए अच्छा लग रहा है. 2 players are slightly better and 2 are completely equal. So rook d1, rook d8. What about knight to c4? Now knight c4 looks very logical. आपका plan है a3 मारने का. So I love this move actually. The only question is what will black do? Yeah, it's not an easy choice because a3 free का मर गया. So then I can start pushing the a pawn. So what will black do? Good move actually, chat. So let's say queen f5 apparently. And if you take on a3 here, apparently queen e6 now. Okay, this is very tricky. Maybe you attack the pawn here. But rook d, तो क्या खेलेंगे यहाँ पे? c4. Oh, this is not easy. Yeah? You're basically stacking the pawn for free. By the way, rook a d1 played. Maybe your move knight c4 is the best option. Great suggestion, Mr. Bhadruduji. भाई क्या move निकालिए भाई? You ignoring me? भाई हर्षित edits. भाई एडिट्स जिसके नाम में उसको आज तक कोई इग्नोर नहीं कर पाया बंदा. भाई एडिट्स वाले लोग क्रेजी होते हैं भाई. हाउ कैन आई गेट द ब्लू एरो? भाई ब्लू एरो के लिए आपको पहले कम से कम शीशे के सामने जाके 3 बार बोलना पड़ेगा टिक्कू 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 साहस 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 राकेश राकेश राकेश. जब बोलोगे तब मिलेगा भाई ब्लू एरो. How many? Okay, ये हो गया है. Feeling a draw might come. It's possible, but right now white is better. I think draw के लिए विंसेंट को बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी यहाँ पे. इतना आसान नहीं है. If the time was reversed, Gukesh had 20 minutes, Vincent had 1 hour, I would say, okay, I mean, this should be a draw. मुश्किल है. But time उल्टा है. Time Gukesh के favor में for a change. So I feel like this is not going to be easy. Not easy at all. भाई क्या है स्कोर? बेथल कौन है भाई? मार रहा है क्या भाई? 10 ओवर्स में 120 यार. दे आर एब्सोल्युटली वेयर दे नीड टू बी यार. डूइंग वेरी वेल. हार सकते हैं अपन लोग. वेट व्हाट? Hmm. That's a weird move, I feel. Ah, he's offering a draw. He's offering a draw, I think. Maybe. Basically, Chad, a3 pawn is attacked. I'm guessing, by the way, yeah? A3 pawn. So he defends the pawn. And after rook, by the way, if you play this rook here, there's always, queen b1 check ideas. So that's going to be an instant draw. So, ये rook यहाँ खेला, and now queen f6 back. And he's saying, आप यहाँ हो गए, फिर से यहाँ होगा. And this could be a repetition. So this could be one reason to play queen b2. But if you go back in here, what if I play knight c4 instead? Am I not attacking the pawn? Oh! Chad, black to play. Bhai, nice move. Actually, this is very tricky. Because basically he's off forcing a draw, I think, unless Gukesh finds the best move. So rook d2, queen f6, rook d3 pe, he will repeat. And if you go, for example, here, knight c4, he has a very nice move, chat. Black to play, best move in the position. What can he play? Come on, chat. Black to play. Yes, it is queen e6. What a beautiful move. Attacking the knight and threatening queen e1 checkmate. So queen knight e3 is forced to save the knight and the mate, and then queen f6 repeats. So nice try by Vincent Keymer. Maybe not the best move, but practically, this might be very tricky. चलाक है भाई, चलाक है. लौंडा हुआ चलाक है भाई. And now rook d2 is the best move, of course. इतना तो बढ़िया है. But now apparently you should just give your king some breathing space with g3, for example. I think that would be decent. You could play h3 also. I think it doesn't matter. But back rank issue solve कर दो. I think that's what I like here. At least कोई ये queen e1 के ideas नहीं रहेंगे game के अंदर. Very important. What a moment this is. Super crucial. Vincent Keymer, Gukesh's former second. Now trying to become the first. What's the likelihood he finds this? I would say very likely. I mean, Gukesh will see all of this through. I don't think it's a big deal for somebody like Gukesh with more time on the clock. He will understand all these patterns. He's trying to force a draw this way. He's trying to play queen e6. So let me just play h3 here. Something trying to remove the back rank issues. And then he can focus on the d pawn. So would be very, very logical. And again, if you play pawn to d7 here, chat, again, obviously rook d8. But maybe that's an interesting idea, actually. Wait, chat. So I'm just thinking. So queen b2 ke badle. Oh, by the way, he's played something. He has played rook d2, so he goes for the best move. Doesn't go for d7 instantly. But even that was interesting, actually. Not a terrible move, to be honest. And now where does Vincent go? I think his idea was queen f6 is my take. Because he wants the option of queen e6. There are other options. He could play queen b5, defending this pawn, also defending the rook. But queen f6 looks like the most logical because instantly offers white a draw as well. Psychologically, gives him an escape from this position. Gukesh, somebody who's suffering in this tournament, gives him an escape. He has to fight his own mind to play on. And that puts a lot of psychological pressure on Gukesh. It's black to play right now, by the way. Vincent has no time. 19 minutes to play 11 moves. Not too difficult, but of course, he's struggling. He's worse. So one mistake could cost him the game here. Divya, no updates so far in her game chat. No updates after bishop g5. Only rook f8 was played. So no major updates. No extra moves by Divya so far. Let's check here. Also, Aravindh and Surya are both completely equal as well. क्या होगा इस गेम में? भाई क्या हुआ स्कोर? क्या मुझे सेट्स लेना पड़ेगा कि नहीं लेना है? हाउ न्यूज लेफ्ट 42 भाई 11 मूव पेंडिंग है अभी. हाँ विंसेंट के लिए एंड 10 फॉर गुकेश. ये गेम देख के ना मुझे वो गेम याद आ रही है, कार्लसन वर्सेस नेपो. या लाइक वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग गेम नंबर 5 और 6 इट वाज इन द वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, जहां पे आराम से खेलना पड़ेगा गुकेश को. ड्रैग दिस फॉर एज लॉन्ग एज पॉसिबल, मेक विंसेंट सफर. गई इंडिया भाई, क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? भाई 250 भी इनफ नहीं है क्या? You must be kidding me, chat. There is no way 250 is not enough. लेविक वीडियो आगे कुछ डाउनफॉल, बाप रे. Now it's real, yeah. अब तक तो it was just a fallacy. Now it's real. Because 11 वीडियो Gukesh gets up finally. स्कोर चेक करने गया होगा यार, स्कोर चेक करने गया होगा. Flat pitch and small boundaries, but तब भी यार 250 रन तो should be a winning score. Even if defends the rook, taking the rook makes sense, at least for me. No, I disagree. If you want to take the rook in place of the knight, I think that's going to be a draw. Meanwhile, one look at the Divya game. Let's have a look. Rook f8 खेला था last उन्होंने उनकी opponent ने. Now she's considering her options. Bishop f4 looks so tempting to attack the queen. b5 then attacking the knight. You can, black के बहुत कम pieces developed है. Look at this. Rook develop था, attack किया, घर भेज दिया. Bishop f4 attack किया, queen d8 घर भेज दिया. b5 attack किया, knight को घर भेज दिया. So you can start pushing all these pieces for black, and black is undeveloping them one by one. So Divya looking in great shape. Meanwhile, going to the game of Aravindh Chithambaram. Okay, this is very close to a draw. I can't imagine Aravindh losing this in a million years. So Aravindh doing great, no stress whatsoever. And now we go back to Gukesh here. Let's see. After bishop f4, Divya ki position mein, will it work in? You mean this. So if bishop f4, you want to play e5, I think, right? The problem is, it would be a decent move for black because bishop open ho raha hai. So definitely an option he would consider. But takes, let's say you take with the knight for now, I'm guessing, to attack this. I don't know, bishop e4 to attack this, queen d1, rook d1. It's still a worse endgame basically because आपका piece develop नहीं है. So यहाँ पे black को अब defend करना पड़ेगा. You're playing for two results. Like white cannot lose this at all. So black can go e5. let's say knight c6, but compare all the pieces. Rook better than rook, rook better than rook, bishop better than bishop, bishop at least equal than the bishop, and knights are at least equal. So white is clearly better in all circumstances. And in fact, you can at least win a pawn directly and even do more. You could, I think the best move is not even taking the pawn. Just maintain that pressure. So I don't think black would love to go for this unless it's the only option, last option. You guys headed to the Gukesh game. Oh, no moves. Yeah, Gukesh was just writing something. I don't know what he was writing. Bhai, kya hua score? Should I be scared? By the queen b5 played by Vincent Keymer. So plays not the best move in the position. And now let's have a look how to push this. Start multiple candidate moves yahan pe. First of all, d7 comes to mind. Attacking the rook. Rook has to come to d8 now. Can we get the knight up? I don't see a way. Because knight ko hame rook ko attack karna hai. All the squares where you can attack the rook from are covered. There are no squares jahan se aap rook ko attack kar sakte ho with the knight. And you can't move the rooks because the pawn would hang. So d7 maybe is not the best move just yet. So what else can we play? India khatre mein are bhai. Net rate wise, they are doing good. Exactly my fear. Bhai, you know, it's gonna get very close. I wanted it to be a one-way street. Like at least 50 रन से जीतने का प्लान था भाई, but ये तो difficult लग रहा है. And chat, let's over this. So for example, rook c1, trying to, bring the rook this way, attack this pawn. Let's say black plays rook d8 now and tries to pressure this pawn. And now knight c4. Is this any better? Plan is to take this pawn, potentially. Also play knight e5 and so on. But this looks very tempting. Let's say queen b4, saving the pawn, attacking the rook. And now, maybe rook t3. Can I go rook t3 with the plan of yahan pe a pressure? Oh, but rook e8, bhai. Yeah, you know what? We need to solve back rank issues. ये बार problem आ रही है. Can we just play g3 here? Like, let's just play g3 or s3. I don't know. Because this is constantly being a problem for us. Yeah, s3 is a great move. Wow, the angel loves it now. Bye, let's play h3 or g3. I don't know which one is better, but let's just solve all back rank problems for once. Because otherwise, na har variation में tactical issue हो रहा है. We need fast swing bowler like Bumrah, but we do have Bumrah, no? भाई हारने वाले हैं क्या क्रिकेट मैच? डर लग रहा है भाई. भाई इंग्लैंड के 157 हो गए. क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम? भाई क्या बात कर दी? नो वे होजे. भाई क्या? भाई डरा रहे हो यार तुम लोग यार. Come on, come on, come on. Vincent giving a stare. अच्छा, इंडिया से जर्मनी का क्रिकेट मैच नहीं है भाई. Let's just put it that way. H4 should be best. You know, H4 usually is great and I'm tempted to play it. The only problem is कि after H4 मुझे G3 भी खेलना पड़ेगा because this pawn could be loose. You can see the bar going to equal, yeah? I feel like this is a bit risky. If I have other plans, I would not want to risk it. By the way, let's see. He plays H3. Wow, he plays my move. I'm so proud right now. I can't tell you, chat. He plays my move. I'm so happy. Hashtag Tikku is happy today, bhai. Hopefully India doesn't lose in cricket or chess. स्ट्रीम पर एक दिन वीडी को बुलाओ भाई. वीडी विल बी बिजी यार. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. वुड लव टू हैव हिम. बस एक विकेट भगवान, एक विकेट भाई. वाह वाह भाई वाह. By the rook d8, best move played instantly, the most logical move. How is Gukesh pushing here? It's not obvious to me. It's not easy to push. Because d7, I think c4 and black can distract you here. Easy win for India. Only one wicket is needed. भाई ये लगा था हमें जब सैमसन आउट हुआ था कि like India will could collapse, but everybody started hitting sixes apart from Abhishek Sharma, of course, who got out on 0 or whatever. 4 रन उसने तुक्के के मारे थे. भाई ये लोग तो मार रहे हैं भाई. I just checked again. और 160 कुछ हो गए apparently. डैम, आई एम फीलिंग बैड फॉर दोस पीपल हु क्रैकर्स रखे होंगे, क्योंकि इंडिया हारा तो पैसे गया भाई। दिस इज द ओल्डेस्ट टाइम पैसा वेस्ट फ्रॉम जनरेशंस। पटाखे तो कितने लोग रखते हैं यार इंडिया के विन के लिए। हाउ अबाउट रुक डी फाइव? रुक डी फाइव लुक्स लॉजिकल एक्चुअली। The only problem is कि what happens on moves like queen b2, attacking the pawn. Uh, can we play queen b2 here already? Yeah, you see like rook c5, queen a2. I'm not sure if I want this. Am I ready for this? d7, queen e6, rook c7. Yeah, maybe this feels like a draw. This a pawn is enough. Yeah, this a pawn is enough compensation. विन के लिए कुछ और खेलना पड़ेगा. Where is Gukesh's queen? She's gone to watch the match, Ame bhai, in Mumbai. So that's why she's not there. She's busy today. तभी रुक्स आए एक्स्ट्रा. भाई कोई आउट हुआ क्या भाई? कोई तो आउट हो भाई, बताओ यार. Who is Gukesh's queen? Good question भाई. Lam India 4 runs behind this position. क्या बात कर रहे हो? उन हमसे आगे चल रहे हैं वो. Damn brother. Easy in for India. Only one wicket is needed. Wow. टिकू दिव्या को बोलो जल्दी खेले भाई. दिव्या की गेम चेक करते हैं भाई. दिव्या कैसा क्या चल रहा है? Oh, by the way, she did play bishop f4, the best move, so attacks the queen. Um, so looking great for Divya. Time issue है, but ठीक है. I mean कर लेंगे handle थोड़ा सा, सह थोड़ा सा. Let's see what Gukesh does. Chat. Bro, Gukesh का time इतना कैसे आज time management गया? I think he had a crazy opening preparation essentially. So उसको like deep lines में गया 20 by 20 25 moves तक preparation थी. So he was just doing very well. Uh, Meanwhile, मुकेश क्वीन इन चेन्नई. भाई चेन्नई में कौन सी क्वीन है मुकेश की यार? कल तुम ही कुछ बता रहे थे, फॉलो अनफॉलो तुम लोगों को ही सब पता होगा यार. मेरे को तो कुछ पता नहीं है. मैं तो मतलब मैं ऐसे में घुसता नहीं है यार. किसकी लाइफ में कौन क्वीन किंग बिशप पॉन है पता नहीं. मीनवाइल नो मूव स्टिल. भाई विंसन के पास 16 मिनट है. गुकेश को कुछ तो क्रेजी करना चाहिए यहाँ पे. बिकॉज वंस वी रीच लाइक द 40th मूव, जब 9 मूव निकल जाएंगे, आई थिंक दिस कुड बिकम लाइक अ इजी ड्रॉ. साहब 36 रन ठोक दिया. क्या बात कर रहे हो? कितनी देर में? भाई जीत जाए. किसे साउथ चेन्नई, सो हिज क्वीन ऑल्सो साउथ. They follow because of stupid reels are made. जय शाह कुछ करो. भाई यूजुअली ना इंडियन बॉलिंग में ना लाइक मतलब एक ही बंदा होता है भाई, बुमराह. अगर बुमराह ने 2-3 विकेट ले लिए तो वी विन. अगर इंडिया ने कुछ नहीं किया तो इंडिया लूजेस. लाइक यही है भाई, बुमराह के बिना इंडियन टीम कोलैप्सेस. By the way, he plays rook c1. So he's trying to attack the c5 pawn. Great move. And apparently now queen c6 is the best move for black. A tough one, yeah? Tough one to find, I think. Okay, not that tough actually. You attack the d6 pawn. So I don't know. What do you do after queen c6? Maybe queen c6 now attacking the pawn, rook say. So knight c4 is the plan, right? I mean, that has to be the move. Oh, look at this strat. Now queen e4 is the best move. Maybe there is some play. Nice move. Queen e4, not easy. Like, it is the obvious move, but एटलीस्ट वी आर एंटरिंग दैट टेरिटरी जहां पे ब्लैक को इकलौती मूव निकालनी है, अदरवाइज ही इज वर्स. सम प्रेशर, सम प्रेशर. क्या होगा यहां पे देखते हैं. मीनवाइल उठ के चले गए यार. दैट्स लाइक मे बी स्कोर चेक कर लेंगे होंगे. चैट स्कोर का अपडेट देना. इंडिया हारा तो की गलती है. वाह यार, जब जहां गलती एक्शन में होती है वहां कोई कुछ बोलता नहीं है भाई. यहां पे गलती कैसे हो गई? इज द फाइनल अगेन इन नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम इन अहमदाबाद? लाइक यूजली ऐसी होता है. 3 वाइड्स. भाई व्हाट आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट? 3 वाइड्स. कौन है ये महान बॉलर? Which endgame is a tougher, rook pawn or queen pawn? I think queen pawn endgames are tougher. Rook pawn में there are theoretical endgames, so you can understand sometimes कि क्या चल रहा है. You have earlier games you've played. Queen endgames are like so brutal. It could be a drawn game, but you will end up losing always. Very hard to defend. और अर्शदीप पिछली बार भी दिया था ना बहुत रन. लाइक व्हाई इज ही प्लेइंग? लाइक आई डोंट नो. कोई बॉलर नहीं है क्या अपने पास? बोलो तो मैं ही घुस जाऊं फिर एक दो बॉलिंग करने के लिए. यार क्या चल रहा है भाई? व्हाई इज अर्शदीप प्लेइंग? भाई तेरा नाम बता दे भाई. मेरा नाम है साहिल. आउट भाई. अर्शदीप पे कभी डाउट नहीं था मुझे यार. वेरी वेरी गुड बॉलर यार. मतलब तब से मुझे पता है ही इज लाइक वन ऑफ द बेस्ट बॉलर्स इंडिया कैन हैव. हमेशा भरोसा था मुझे यार. हमेशा भाई. नेवर डाउटेड हिम फॉर अ सेकंड. लाइक ग्रेट बॉलर. मतलब ही इज द गुकेश ऑफ द क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड भाई. क्रेजी भाई. क्रेजी. Happy to know Kesh is in touch with Paddy. He said he's into yesterday. Yeah, I saw that by the way. Ki he's still in touch with Paddy. So Paddy has helped him during the World Championship. So that's great. कि भाई अभी भी टच में है. क्रेजी कैच. ऐसा क्या हो गया भाई? क्या मतलब दो उंगलियों से पकड़ लिया क्या? 8 moves in 13 minutes. भाई इट्स टफ. वही मैंने कहा ना, कुछ तो है यहाँ पॉसिबल चीजें मुकेश के लिए. प्योरली फॉर दैट रीजन. चेस में चल क्रिकेट भाई. क्रिकेट कहाँ नहीं होता भाई. नीता भाई अंबानी अंबानी बैठे हैं वहां पे यार. इतने हजार अरबों का बिजनेस कर रहे हैं बट तब भी मैच नहीं छूट रहा. तो हम क्यों छोड़े भाई? ऑफ कोर्स द फोकस इज चेस बट क्रिकेट अपनी जरूरी है. इतना तो गिरगिट भी रंग नहीं बदलता. तुम्हें कैसे पता भाई? हाउ डू यू नो? भाई अर्शदीप ग्रेट बॉलर यार. नेवर नेवर नेवर. आई मीन या ब्रेटली से पहले उनका नाम आता है यार. बिकॉज ब्रेटली स्टार्ट्स विद बी एंड अर्शदीप स्टार्ट्स विद ए. इट्स क्रेजी. Which was the best year for चेस करे? This one भाई hopefully. अरे ये हेड मसाज कर रहा है क्या विंसेंट? लाइक he's like, oh, queen's his best move played. Finds it, but now knight c4, yeah? Keeping the pressure. Apparently knight f5 is also possible, but queen e4 का वापस आना पड़ेगा. So don't really like that one bit. So let's go knight c4 directly then. 32 cities ball with 82 runs चाहिए. Okay. आउट कौन हुआ? वो बेथल वेथल हुआ कि कोई और आउट हुआ? आउट कौन हुआ? Because बेथल खेल रहा है तो then it's still tough, no? Okay, because टाइम बहुत है. अच्छा जैक्स कोई. अच्छा जैक्स वो बॉलर. हाँ ओके. सो दैट मीन्स कि भाई फिर द गेम इज स्टिल ऑन. या बेथल इज स्टिल प्लेइंग अगर तो. ओके. स्टिल नो मूव्स बाय गुकेश. वन लुक at the other games. By the way, what the hell is happening here? What did Surya just play? Wait a second. Bhai, queen d3, rook d8, queen e4, bishop f2. What? What is this move? Why, sahab, ye kya chaal hai? Brilliancy. King f2, knight c5, attacking bishop, attacking queen. Queen e2, I'm guessing. You defend it. And now knight b3. Attacking the bishop and the rook. So rook d1 and rook c2. Wow. Bhai, what a find by Surya Shekhar Ganguly here. And now the only move for white is queen e3, knight d2, rook d2, rook d2, knight d2. And now you can play knight c4. Wow. Why Surya finding an insane move? Amazing chess. देखते हैं कैसे how this will transpire because this looks crazy. And उनके Vaclav Finek जी शॉक में रह गए भाई. Wow. So let's look at this. Meanwhile, going back to the Gukesh game. And क्या स्कोर है चैट भाई? कुछ स्ट्रेस लेना चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए मुझे? Should I take stress or no? वरुण की 17 की इकोनॉमी है. बाप रे. Wasn't he like one of the best like ballers for us? Like isn't he like some top 3 ranked ICC bowler or something like ऐसा कुछ? By the way, still thinking, Gukesh, these moves do matter a lot. T20 number one hai, wow. Clearly, this will take a lot of hit on his rankings. Something we have, of course, suffered a lot through. चेस से थोड़ा इंस्पिरेशन ले रहे हैं यहाँ पे वरुण जी, वर्ल्ड नंबर 20 की तरफ बढ़ते हुए. इंडिया इज विनिंग, डोंट वरी गुकेश, नीड द विन हियर. भाई आई एम नॉट श्योर. मेरे को चैट बता रही है बेथल इज क्रशिंग इट, सो आई एम नॉट श्योर भाई. भाई सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस तो लेकिन विंसेंट लग रहा है मुझे. 4 ईयर से कोई वीडियो अपलोड नहीं किया भाई. कहाँ देख रहे हो तुम, 4 साल से अपलोड नहीं करी है. लिटरली 2 दिन पहले एक शॉट अपलोड किया था मैंने, कल या परसों ही किया था. बेथल मार रहा है किसको, कोई तो रोको. 32 minutes 50 minutes, isn't he playing well today? Yeah, he's playing fast today, well also, because I think he had his preparation and found some amazing ideas, but it's still far away from winning this game potentially. He's only slightly better. भाई इंग्लैंड के 179 हो गए ब्रो, यू मस्ट बी किडिंग मी. भाई ये तो जीत जाएंगे यार. वरुण को मार रहा है वेतल, अच्छा. ओके ओके, दैट्स नॉट व्हाट आई थॉट. ओके, क्रेजी. आई थिंक गिविंग वाइड्स इंटेंशनली टू हिट द स्टंप, आई एम नॉट श्योर यार. अगर अर्शदीप भाई ने वाइड करी है तो कोई तो कारण रहा होगा. आई मीन नेवर एवर डाउटेड अर्शदीप, मतलब इन माय लाइफ, लाइक व्हाट अ बॉलर मैन. 3 वाइड्स उन्होंने दी है तो मतलब इट मस्ट बी स्ट्रेटजी, देयर इज नो वे. अर्शदीप भाई बॉल डालते हैं तो स्टंप्स अपने आप ही गिर जाती हैं भाई. ही इज लाइक एन इनसेन बॉलर. मीनवाइल okay, still thinking, I think using his time is great, but does he really have winning chances is the question. Knight f5, queen e4 we saw. It's already awkward. If you go for this, the knight is actually trapped, yeah? King f8 and black is winning or close to winning. So you can't be super ambitious here. I think knight c4 maybe is the best option you have. चार ने गई है क्वीन. विकेट विकेट गया, क्या बात कर रहे हो, सही बताओ, गया क्या विकेट भाई? 184, bro, you must be kidding me. भाई ये क्या चल रहा है यार, आर वी गोना लूज? वरुण भाई सेंचुरी मार के ही छोड़ेंगे लॉल्स. भाई बैटिंग से नहीं तो बॉलिंग से ही सही. डैम. ओके भाई, आई एम काइंड ऑफ हैप्पी आई एम नॉट वाचिंग दिस, बिकॉज ट्रॉमा ही होता भाई. कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन गुकेश भाई, आप ही विन कर दो. कम ऑन गुकेश भाई. Easy win for England, but it feels like, yeah, the way they are playing. I mean, it's 5 wickets, right? I think because चार गए थे फिर एक और गया था. So if they lose like a couple of, even 1 wicket, I think India could win. But अगर ऐसी रहा तो they'll win, I think. 69-30 was, by it looks very easy actually. 69-30. That's like 12 into 5, 72. Yeah, that's less than 12 runs an over. So they are playing at a higher run rate than they need. 64 in 4. भाई पता था मुझे, वरुण भाई चेस फैन है एक्चुअली. वरुण भाई ट्रांजिशन कर रहे हैं क्रिकेट से चेस में, तो 64 रन दिए उन्होंने, बिकॉज चेस बोर्ड पे 64 स्कोर होते हैं. वरुण भाई, लव योर डेडिकेशन फॉर द गेम भाई, लव इट. Oh, he played knight c4. Nice move by the world champ, finding the best challenge in the position. Now black has to find queen e4, chat. Anything else and white is really better here. So queen e4, super important move for Vincent Keymer. क्या होगा चैट क्रिकेट में, क्या होगा चैट चेस में? पिच स्पीक्स फॉर इटसेल्फ लोल्स. Oh, he finds queen e4. भाई विंसेंट काइमर भी इंग्लैंड की तरह हार मारने को रेडी नहीं है. भाई जो मैचेस इजी लग रहे थे कुछ भी आसान नहीं लग रहा है यार. एवरीबडी इज फाइटिंग. जेश तक का स्क्रिप्ट भाई, जहाँ स्क्रिप्ट पहले देख चुका हूं मैं. 2000 कुछ 22 था ना शायद, अगस्त या वट एवर इट वॉज, अहमदाबाद में. Come on, Gukesh. What's the best move? Now you're kind of stuck because it's not easy somehow to push your. Like, how do you play? So, for example, if you go back, then knight is hanging. If you push these pawns, then I think you're weakening your king now because एक pawn आपने push कर दिया, you have back rank access now. Then, if you play rook d1, for example, then queen e2, and this might be an issue. Um, Damn, it's not easy to push here. I think it will require like a Magnus kind of grind to win this. Like Magnus की तरह, literally Carlsen की तरह खेलना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे. Come on. भाई क्या चल रहा है यार, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है भाई. हिंदी इंग्लिश बोथ. That's nice to know. चैट एक पोल लगा रहा हूँ भाई, ठीक है. चेस प्लस क्रिकेट रिजल्ट्स. इंडिया विंस, नहीं को, हाँ, गुकेश को उल्टा करता हूँ यार. आफ्टर ऑल चेस टीम है. गुकेश विंस, इंडिया विंस. गुकेश विंस, इंडिया लूजेस. गुकेश लूजेस, इंडिया विंस. बोथ लूज. एंड ड्रॉ ऑप्शन नहीं है भाई, ड्रॉ नहीं करेंगे हम लोग. नो ड्रॉस. ब्रो 191 क्या बात कर रहे, छक्का लगा दिया क्या ब्रो? हार गए ना मतलब फिर. आई थिंक वी आर लॉस्ट. बुमराह को छक्का पड़ा गया भाई, फिर तो खत्म है गेम. आई थिंक देन तो वी आर कंप्लीटली लॉस्ट. आई फील अगर बुमराह को छक्का पड़ा तो फिर क्या ही बचा है गेम में. ओके चैट, द गेम्स आर टेंसिंग अप अ बिट. क्या होगा अब चेस में, क्या होगा भाई? कम ऑन गुकेश एंड विंसेंट भाई, थोड़ी एनर्जी, सब मूव्स. चेस में तो डांस मूव्स ही दिखा दो भाई. चैट इज सो साइलेंट. चैट बी ऑनेस्ट, कितने लोग चैट में जो भी क्रिकेट नहीं देख रहे साथ में? आई रियली वांट टू नो कितने लोग चैट में हैं जो भी क्रिकेट साथ में नहीं देख रहा है. आई वुड लव टू नो एक्चुअली. मीनवाइल गुकेश बेचारे इज प्रॉब्ली द ओनली वन हु हैज नो आइडिया अबाउट द क्रिकेट. अच्छा चैट रुक गई थी भाई. ओह चैट यू वर स्टक फॉर सम रीजन. आई कुडंट सी योर मैसेजेस. आई डोंट वांट, मैं दोनों देख रहा हूं. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. मी अरे काफी लोग हैं यार. दैट्स ग्रेट टू नो. विंसेंट भाई भी इज शॉक चैट कि आप लोग क्रिकेट नहीं देख रहे. बापू ओपी व्हाट? आई डोंट लाइक क्रिकेट. सो व्हिच इज योर फेवरेट स्पोर्ट चैट देन? Is it chess? Is it something else? Would love to know. Top three sports. Top three sports. Let's say top नहीं बोलूंगा, वैक्सीन लोग क्रिकेट ही बोलेंगे. So top three sports in your life chat. Come on, let's go. Meanwhile, still no moves by Gukesh. Football, MMA, cricket, wrestling. Wow. Is it a sport though? Like it's, we know, right? WWE is acting, so it's not really a sport, right? Chess. Wow. Vidya Balan of the chess world. Why Shreyansh? Tennis, cricket, chess. Basketball, football, chess. Basketball, football, carom. Carom is not a, could be. Chess है तो carom भी हो सकता है. Chess, badminton, football. Chess, cricket, esports. Basketball. Chess, cricket, badminton. Take pawn. Wow, bhai. Let's hope so. G3 was best because black doesn't have queen f4. It's possible, but very hard to understand this, right? When you are playing, chess, and you have to go so deep into these subtle nuances. And G3 had his own problems because queen ko f3 square mil raha hai. Like after G3, you could totally lose this because of some weird, weak light squares. So practically, he made the safer choice. Best move now apparently is rook d1. But to me, that's not super obvious because queen e2 आ रहा है to attack the a2 pawn. So are you going to repeat like rook d1, queen e2, rook d2? ये करोगे तो draw हो जाएगा. Still holdable thanks to बुमराह. Really? बुमराह का क्या हो रहा है भाई ओवर में? एक चोकिंग ओवर चाहिए भाई. मैं कुछ बोलने वाला था, छोड़ो. डैम. रुक D5, रुक H5, रुक B1, रुक B8. भाई ये दो रुक देने फ्री कर देने का क्या मतलब है, समझ नहीं आया मुझे. Bar is never favor in cricket. Why? I wish there could be a bar in cricket, but there is, like, probability wise, they do have it. But whatever in cricket is top sport, I agree. Cricket match is double edged. Why it is? It is indeed. क्या score है? 194 for 5, yeah? 16 over something. Which player is in Gukesh's camera? I don't know, bhai. I think there's some other tournament going on, जो कुछ youngsters के लिए होगा. I think these are the players behind. Maybe you see. Meanwhile, Divya opponent inaccuracy. क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? Surya is winning, by the way. Surya winning, Divya winning. Look, why bishop f4, queen d8, bishop g5, and now 97 and queen c1, and apparently she's in a great position. Rook c7, bishop h6. This is an amazing position for Divya. So Divya doing very well. Now going to Surya after bishop f2, king f2, knight c5, queen e2, knight b3. He made a mistake with bishop b4. And beautiful move, queen a7, rook e1, and knight c1. Wow. Why Surya is also close to winning. So Surya winning, or let's say Surya much better, Divya much better, Aravindh equal, and Gukesh also close to equal. So things looking great for India today. Oro miss, yeah, I saw that chat में किसी ने बताया कि he did not win the last game. आखिर गेम में रिजल्ट क्या रहा उसका? ड्रॉ रहा कि विन, लाइक लॉस रहा? क्या रहा उसका लास्ट गेम रिजल्ट? Okay, come on chat, देखते हैं क्या होगा. What is Gukesh doing? Still thinking. 39 minutes. Okay, he still has a lot of time, but lose tha. Oh, that's hard. दोनों सूर्या का फॉर्म खरा. नहीं नहीं भाई, आई थिंक अपने सूर्य का फॉर्म आज ठीक है. चेस वाले का भी, सॉरी, क्रिकेट वाले का भी सही होगा होपफुली. How left academy for college and pursuit? Why? It's very hard. Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. If I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't do it. Like, it would be very tough, very difficult to go through so many years of misery. Where Gukesh ki strategy, rook b1, rook b8. You want to play rook b8, but the problem is, yeah, I can always move my pawns. Yeah, I can always play g6, king g7, and rook h5 is fallacy because black ka rook d8 pe hai. By the way, he took the pawn. He took the a3 pawn. Now only move for black queen f4, but I think it's enough. I think it's enough now. Only move for black is queen f4. Oh, Gukesh is winning. I think he'll find it, of course. Let's see. Critical moment now. Queen f4 attacking the rook, both the rooks. You have to play rook c d1 now. Very important, because if you play this rook here, chat, there are tactics. Rook takes d6. Of course, direct mar raha hai, but rook here, there's also queen c1 and queen a3. So you have to play rook d1, rook c d1, sorry. And now black ke liye, he has to find queen a4 apparently. Okay, I think this is a decent try. Queen a4 maybe is not that easy. A pawn mil raha to lena bhi hai na bhai. What do you do? Ideal would have been grabbing this pawn when Vincent had like no time on the clock, like 2 minutes. But okay, Gukesh thinks this is the best option he has. He goes for it, yeah? भाई क्या चल रहा है क्रिकेट में? अपडेट दे दो यार. 200 सिक्स सिक्स किसने पिटवाया भाई? कौन है बॉलर यार? कौन है ये बॉलर? किसने सिक्स पिटवा दिया? बेथल 90, डैम. अर्शदीप भाई, कभी विश्वास नहीं था बॉलर के पे. इतना घटिया बॉलर है ना भाई, मतलब बॉलिंग ही नहीं करनी आती बंदे को यार. 30 रन पिटवाता है ओवर में भाई. 3 वाइड कराता है यार. घटिया बॉलर है भाई सच में भाई. The queen f4 only move found by Vincent Keymer. So rook c d1 should be obvious, played instantly by Gukesh. basically putting the pressure back on Vincent. दो ने पांच वाइड, ऑफ कोर्स यार, इतनी घटिया मतलब देखा ही नहीं भाई ऐसा घटिया बॉलर मैंने आज तक. लाइक वरुण कम्स अ क्लोज सेकंड. People look at the accuracy by 97.7 indeed. दोनों प्लेयर्स की. You can imagine. 45 in 3 overs required, 15 रन पर ओवर भाई. If my maths is not mistaken. चैट क्या लग रहा है? Who's in the driver's seat right now? क्रिकेट पहले खत्म होगा चेस से. So what's your take? Who's gonna win this match? भाई I'm not sure यार. 15 रन पर ओवर बेथल खेल रहा है तो इंग्लैंड राइट नाउ फेवरेट यार. You have to admit that. बुमराह का आई गेस एक ओवर पेंडिंग है, एंड दैट्स गोना बी द 19th ओवर. यूजुअली बुमराह 19th कराता है, राइट? सो 18th over, 20th over is the problem. Yes, bhai, that's what Chad is saying. 45 runs, 18 balls. Nepo wins the match. Nepo कहां से आ गया यार? Pawn push next. Yes, that is the goal. But black करने ही नहीं देगा यार. Black's going to play queen f4, attack the knight, and he's going to make it very difficult for us to push the pawn. And ध्यान रखो, like d7 के बाद the king can walk up sometimes. So this pawn right now controls the e7 square. Push it when you're sure. Come on, chat. Super important. Queen f4 played. Best move by Vincent Keymer. Knight c2 apparently now is one of the best moves. And if you play queen takes a2 here, then you can probably move the knight forward. Oh no, knight nahi. d7 खेलना है. Okay, this is tough. This is really tough, man. Queen f4, a6, queen b3 also tempting. Yeah, this feels like a draw to me. So कुछ तो क्रेजी करना पड़ेगा ओकेश तो जो इंजन को भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है. He needs to go beyond the engine now. अच्छा बुमराह अभी बॉल कर रहा है भाई. That's a risky strategy, yeah. That's a very risky strategy, I think. Usually 19th करता है वो, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've not been watching cricket too much recently, but I think he used to bowl the 19th over. By the way, knight b1, best move, one of the best moves played. And now I think black ka c pawn can become counterplay actually and distract the rook. c4 I think might be very strong. But 20th नहीं है ना, because he already gave away 3 overs. I think this is his last over. अगर दो होते then it would make sense, but he only has 1 over I think. And this is the, if अगर इस ओवर में पिट गए then we are lost, right? Because there's no Bumrah coming to save us. So that's the problem with bowling him now. Advantage है कि if he can hold then it's great. By the way, c4 played, great move, and maybe it's time to start pushing. Tough. एसएसजी जाना चाहिए गुकी को. नाइस नाइस, लव इट, आई होप सो. 0-1-1. Oh, that's so nice भाई. शिवम तुझे बॉल करवानी चाहिए लकी चम. ए कम ऑन भाई, नो चांस भाई, हार जाएंगे यार. लेट्स हैव रियल बॉलर्स बॉलिंग. कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन, कुछ तो कर दो मेरे भाई लोग. बोथ चेस एंड क्रिकेट में इंडिया की है, इंडिया को विन चाहिए. दिव्या मेड इन एक्यूरेसी कैरियर चैट. लेट्स हैव अ लुक. शी प्लेड बिशप e4. Okay, not the best. Okay, but still she's slightly better. But yeah, I agree. I think apparently there was h4 which was stronger, or even b5. Okay, b5 is very hard to find though. h4 also very hard. Tough moves, chat. Tough. Which does make sense. You're attacking the b7 pawn and rook b hanging here. For example, I could take on a8 right now. But tough move to find, I think. Okay, Surya, by the way, is even better now. Knights and queen e4. Another mistake by his opponent, and knight d3 ke baad he's completely winning. So Surya is winning now. Let's see what Gukesh can do. Come on, come on. Bumrah wicket chahiye, of course. That would be great. But is it even possible, chat? सुपर सैया भाई, सुपर सैया ये तो है भाई. कोई तो लड़की दुनिया में कह रही है ये मेरे सुपर सैया हैं. Meanwhile, still no moves by the world champ. 0-1-1-2-1. Oh, that's nice, yeah. 5 runs in 5 balls. ओवर अच्छे से खत्म करना है बस. आज क्रिकेट हॉल में हूं। भाई क्रिकेट हॉल में नहीं होता है भाई। मुकेश को लाइव स्कोर बताने गया था। Oh, nice. Divya made inaccuracy. We saw that, Chad, but it's still better for her. By the way, D7 played. Mukesh pushes the pawn. He's going all in, but is it really a winning idea or not? For now, the engine says 0.00. क्या हुआ आखिरी बॉल पे, चैट? फाइनल बॉल, व्हाट हैपेंड? ओ, 6 रन ही गए क्या भाई? बुमराह इज क्रेजी मैन। इस सिचुएशन में 6 रन, दैट इज इनसेन। वाओ। भाई तो 39 रन इन 2 ओवर्स। ओके, अब अर्शदीप बॉलिंग तो नहीं करेगा ना? आई एम होपिंग पिटवाएगा भाई वो। भाई स्पिनर नहीं होना चाहिए यार, यू नीड लाइक अ फास्ट बॉलर आई थिंक। वेजिटा ही ना क्रेजी। भाई इस ओवर में पता लग जाएगा एक्चुअली इफ यू आर विनिंग और नॉट। आई थिंक इस ओवर में हार्दिक इज गुड। आई थिंक हार्दिक इज गुड। दुबे ही होना चाहिए। हार्दिक 1 ओवर, आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट। आई डोंट लाइक दुबे, आई डोंट लाइक अर्शदीप। अक्सर स्पिनर पता है भाई। आई नो। दुबे नहीं आना चाहिए भाई, दुबे हरवा देगा गेम। मीनवाइल चैट, नो मूव्स बाय Vincent still. So he has what time now? He has 8 minutes. Clearly under some building pressure now. I know तीन ही चाल है, चार ही चाल है, but he has to be exactly like to the point here. सिक्स मार दिया, क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? यार ये लोग पिलेंगे यार, अरे यार। ओ मैन, टफ, टफ। 100 हो गए बेथल के। डैम। दुबे हैव बीन एमवीपी भाई। आई डाउट अगर दुबे आएगा बॉलिंग करने भाई, आई वुड रियली डाउट इट। Show Arvind's game. By the way, Arvind's game still equal. Not many changes there. I think Jan Forrest is trying to pressure B7, but I think there is some pressure building up though. There is some pressure, but still I think controllable. Nothing crazy. So going back to the world champ, I think both are bad, Akzar and Dubey. Chat ball by ball updates देनी पड़ेगी तुम्हें मुझे. My second time watching chess or cricket. Both is the correct answer. Why? We are watching chess because classical chess hai. We have time to discuss this. We can discuss both. That's the best part about this. Meanwhile, Diva needs to play 18 moves in 7 minutes. Okay, that's tough, but I think she's done it yesterday as well, so I wouldn't worry too much. फिलहाल के लिए let's stick to Gukesh and India versus England. आउट! क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? कौन आउट हुआ? अरे लेट्स गो। अच्छा बेथल नहीं हुआ, बट स्टिल यार विकेट विकेट होता है भाई। विकेट इज अ विकेट एंड इट्स अ डॉट बॉल मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली। मीनवाइल चैट क्रिकेट की तरफ अगेन द बार शिफ्टिंग। भाई बात हमारे फेवर में जा रहा है दोनों गेम्स में। 32 in 9 balls. That's what? That's like more than 20 and over, right? I think that's 20 something. So looking good, yeah. Bethel is on non-strike. Oh, that's crazy. Why is Magnus playing classical and tape segment and coach Sterling? I don't know actually. That's very interesting. A question which we would love to know the answer to, because something happened about tape segment that Magnus liked, because he's known to not play classical chess. Yeah, not really sure what happened. India will probably win now. I mean, probably is hard to say. Yeah, I mean, you never know. राकेश भाई दिख गए स्टेडियम में, क्या बात कर रहे हो? रियली? कैन समबडी सेंड मी अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ राकेश भाई इन द स्टेडियम? क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? किसके साथ बैठे हैं ये बताओ. हो तो रियल राज बताओ तुम। Divya's next move is so hard, really. Let's have a look. Chat, we saw, I think, bishop e4, b6, rook c7, rook c8 only move, takes, and now h4. Okay, h4 is tough. And somehow I think Divya is now slightly worse if she doesn't find h4. Okay, this is tough, yeah? Divya's game is turning around. The second best move is d5, which is, I mean, close to impossible to find. So Divya slightly, I'm a bit worried now for her, especially looking at the clock with what, 7 minutes remaining. It's tough, yeah? Going back to Gukesh, king f8. Okay, the black king walks in. Exactly what I mentioned. Jesse of d7 खेलोगे, king can walk to e7. And chat, this might be a draw now. It is a possibility. 1 run for England again. लास्ट ओवर में डर है अक्सर यार। भाई डिपेंड करता है लास्ट में कितने रन चाहिए। अगर लास्ट ओवर में 25 से ऊपर चाहिए तो आई थिंक वी आर सेफ। अगर 20 से कम चाहिए तो वी आर स्क्रूड आई फील। इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ मेनी वी नीड इन द लास्ट ओवर। 13-7, ओ वाह। तो 6 नहीं पड़ना चाहिए इस बॉल में बस, एंड देन वी विन आई थिंक। 13-6 डॉट बॉल। अरे भाई जीत गए भाई अब तो यार। 5 छक्के तो नहीं मार पाएंगे यार, कम ऑन। आई बेथल आएगा ना स्ट्राइक पे, लेकिन लाइक आई थिंक ही विल बी ऑन स्ट्राइक आई फील, बिकॉज अनलेस ही टुक अ सिंगल। स्ट्राइक पे कौन है भाई ये बताओ। बेथल है स्ट्राइक पे, हमारे प्रोड्यूसर साहब ने बोला। सो बेथल अगर स्ट्राइक पे है, then basically he has to go for 5 6s, yeah, essentially. Only Yuvraj can save them now. Bye. दिव्या के भाई तुम्हें क्या लगता है मैं क्यों गेम चेंज नहीं कर रहा ताकि इंडिया जीत जाए भाई? भाई कम ऑन, कनेक्ट द डॉट्स ब्रदर, कनेक्ट द डॉट्स। As soon as the over is over we can check out all the games then. वेट, दुबे इज बॉलिंग, क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई? गए भाई गए, खत्म। 5 छक्के इनकमिंग। कल बोर्ड एग्जाम खत्म, कंग्रेचुलेशंस भाई। मीनवाइल चैट, Gukesh, knight c3, I think could be the move here. Makes a lot of sense to attack the queen, but I still don't see a way where he can win this. भाई दुबे पे बिल्कुल भरोसा नहीं है मुझे। एक चेस पजल देके हमेशा गिव अवे कर दो भाई। 500 लाइक पे होगा, 500 लाइक होने चाहिए उसके लिए। गुकेश का कैमरा ही गया भाई, गुकेश का कैमरा चला गया यार। दैट्स अ रीजन टू वरी। गुकेश का कैमरा चला गया भाई। मैं अब तक गुकेश की गेम खोल के बैठा था, थिंग्स वर गोइंग ग्रेट, एंड नाउ गुकेश कैमरा हैज वैनिश्ड। इज इट गॉड सेंडिंग अस अ सिग्नल कि दुबे को हटा दो? दुबे को हटा दो भाई। Okay, let's go to Divya's game then. If we don't have Gukesh's camera for now, where is Divya's camera? Yeah, here it is. So let's go to her game and let's go full screen again, bhai. Okay, hopefully all will be good. Out? क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम? No way. No way. Dubey got a batsman out. Run out. अरे nice, nice. I'm guessing Bethel नहीं होगा लेकिन। Bethel out. अरे भाई जीत गए भाई, जीत गए जीत गए, अरे जीत गए। क्रेजी, क्रेजी, दुबे का जादू चल गया। अरे नाइस, आप तो जीत गए भाई। 5 बॉल पे अगर रन आउट हुआ तो कितने, 30 चाहिए यार। नो चांस, 29, नो चांस। चलो भाई। सो इंडिया क्रिकेट में जीतते हुए क्या अब चेस में कुछ खुशखबरी मिलेगी? ओके, दिव्या स्टिल। जैसे उनकी काम आएगा तो बताना भाई। आ गया, चलो लेट्स गो बैक देन। स्क्रिप्ट वर्कड। भाई बहुत हेट कर रहे थे आप दुबे को, भाई क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम यार? दुबे इज लाइक मतलब प्राइड एंड जॉय ऑफ द इंडियन टीम। किसने बोला भाई, किसने दुबे के अगेंस्ट कुछ बोला? कौन है वो? मीनवाइल गुकेश भाई चिलिंग, नो आइडिया अबाउट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन क्रिकेट। लेट्स गो इन चेस नाउ, एग्जैक्टली। आपने बोला क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम, क्या? बिल्कुल भी नहीं। कीवीज को वर्ल्ड कप गिफ्ट करेंगे, 1 डॉट एंड इट्स ओवर। डॉट हो गए क्या? सिंगल्स 2018 फोर, तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना अब। बस कोई नो बॉल नहीं करानी अब। फोर नो बॉल होल्डिंग, नहीं नहीं यार। ये थे भाई, आप जिस भी हॉल में उस पर लॉक कर दो हॉल को यार, सब लोग तुम इतना के हॉल को बस सीधी फेंक दो। यार गुकेश भी कुछ फेंक दे उठा के सीधे, यार मजा आ जाएगा। कुछ ड्रामा चाहिए अपन लोगों को। कैन वी स्टे विद दिव्या's गेम? ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन। The only thing is कि she is slightly worse now. She played knight g3. Okay, you can't take with the queen because knight hangs, and bishop se मारोगे तो maybe there are certain problems with rook d1, so maybe the pawn is safe for now. But knight d5, yeah, just keep cementing the knight there at least is very good. 21-2। अब तो सिर्फ अर्शदीप ही हरा सकता है भाई। इंडिया विल लूज इन द फाइनल्स, कह रहे हैं सबाना जी। 6 मार दिया, कोई बात नहीं है यार, I mean, थोड़ा बहुत रन दे देते हैं, थोड़ा थोड़ा बहुत फेस सेविंग ग्रेस चलता है। मीनवाइल स्टिल नो मूव्स। गोइंग टू Gukesh again. Wide, भाई आई टोल्ड यू भाई, एनीथिंग कैन हैपन। वाइड कैसे डाल दिया भाई, किससे डर रहा है ये? Wide, why would you bold a wide? Like no ball, I understand. Why wide? What are you scared of? Like wide is the most like least probable ball to bowl. मजे ले रहा है। Come on, come on. 14-1. Okay. Are there chances? I think the chances for both sides, but the problem is ki at this level, these end games should end in a draw. I think there are not enough pieces, not enough complications. I feel for some side to lose this. That's the problem. So भाई 8-0, ये 8 रन तक कैसे पहुंच गया यार? वेट, कितना स्कोर था? 28 से 8 कैसे 20 रन मार दिया क्या उन्होंने 4 बॉल पे? 1/7 रन, अरे नाइस भाई, कॉन्गो भाई। 3 सिक्सेस मार दिया बच्चा, में नो बॉल नहीं कराई, देन वी कुड हैव ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट दिस। कांग्रेट्स भाई, जीत गए, क्रिकेट पे जीत चुके हैं, वी आर इन द फाइनल्स, वी आर इन द फाइनल्स, वी आर इन द फाइनल्स। चलो भाई, दैट्स अमेजिंग। सो दैट्स ग्रेट न्यूज़ चैट, क्रिकेट में तो जीत गए, अब क्या हम यू नो चेस में जीतेंगे? ऑड्स आर मे बी नॉट एज हाई। भाई चेस में ड्रॉ हटा दो, जिसके पास अगर ड्रॉ हुई, इससे ज्यादा पीस वो जीत गया। इंडिया 1/7 रन भाई, ढाई 200 कितने 53 कैसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में भाई, 53, आई डोंट नो, 253 मारने के बाद भी भाई 7 रन से जीते हैं. डैम. Thala for a reason indeed. By Dhoni was there in the hall, by the way, like he was there in the stadium. Damn. 253 पे 7 रन से जीते. Damn. Tough. Cricket is tough, bhai. Highway pitch. Van Forest update. Yes, I went forest. Tree fell. I came back from forest. That's the update, bhai. And if you're talking about Jordan Van Foreest or whatever, then it's equal by. In fact, apparently after E4, Aravindh is somewhat better. It's hard to understand why. Ooh, very interesting. If Aravindh somehow starts putting on some pressure, तो मजा ही आ जाएगा यार. I think knight d5 is the trick because c3 के बाद d3 square मिल रहा है मेरे pieces के लिए. So you want white to play c3 here. Very interesting position actually. Aravindh slightly better. भाई आज Arvind slightly better, Gukesh at least equal, Surya winning and Divya also equal so far. So looking good. If he draws this, what will be his standings? अरे यार ऐसे डिप्रेसिंग क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछता. अभी खुशी में एंजॉय करो. इंडिया फाइनल पहुंची है. पीवी लिख रहा है इंडिया इन सेमीफाइनल्स. वाओ भाई. वाओ. दैट्स क्रेजी नो हाउ चैट सेमीफाइनल जीतने के बाद भी आप सेमीफाइनल पहुंच जाते हो. इट्स लाइक अ टाइम लूप. नेटफ्लिक्स स्पेशल. बाहर फायरवर्क्स हो रहे हैं. क्या हो रहे हैं समझ नहीं आ रहा. डैम. Why are top Indian super GMs from South? Because Vishy sir was from South India. And of course, when you come from a certain state, it inspires more people to follow your path, follow your lead. That also means there are more coaches to learn from in South India. If you live in North India, you want a GM to learn from, I mean, you have very limited options. और जो GM है भी वो लोग भी जाके वहां पे बुढ़ापे से बैठे हुए हैं. Yay! We are in the finals. We are in the finals. We in the finals. चलो भाई जीत गए भाई. बढ़िया. Vidit is exception. Also, Vidit is from Nasik, yeah, which is also technically like if you divide India in two parts, it's also in South India. So North में I think very few GMs actually. And top GMs तो बिल्कुल ही कम है ही नहीं. कौन है top GMs से? Like I can't think of anyone. Your favorite player? भाई संजू सैमसन. समय रहना GM. भाई समय रहना इज BM. एक दिन GM भी बनेंगे. बुमराह ने बचा दिया भाई. सही में बुमराह इज क्रेजी मैन. उसके बिना आई थिंक 7 रन भाई. वही 7 रन तो आराम से आया था यार. साहिल भाई के अंदर काजोल की आत्मा आ गई है. भाई एक बार मैंने अजय देवगन उनको 2 गाड़ी पे खड़े होते देखा था मूवी में. तब से बस काजोल बन गया हूँ मैं. टिक्कू भाई फ्रॉम नॉर्थ. यस भाई. एंड आई एम नॉट अ GM. माय नेम इज टिक्कू एंड आई एम नॉट अ GM. डीप सेन गुप्ता ओनली GM फ्रॉम झारखंड. कितनी भाई धोनी की 7 रन वाली. अरे क्रेजी. मीनवाइल क्रेजी क्रेजी बातें कर रहे हैं तो क्रेजी क्रेजी मूव्स भी अगर मुकेश खेल दें. बिकॉज जो टाइम एडवांटेज थी पानी में जा रही है. कम ऑन मुकेश. साहिल भाई आपकी हाइट कितनी है यार? पता नहीं. मुझे लगता है 5'10" है इज माई हाइट. बट बहुत टाइम से मेजर नहीं करी. क्या पता आफ्टर कैरिंग द वेट ऑफ सो मेनी एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑन माई शोल्डर्स क्या पता कम हो गई हो. बट 5'10" थी. आई डोंट नो 178 सेंटीमीटर कितना होता है भाई. वट एवर दैट इज माई हाइट. कैलकुलेट कर लो. Your thoughts on playing final in Ahmedabad? Ahmedabad में क्या? Not surprising भाई. Usually happens in Ahmedabad. टिक्कुल टेस्ट करो भाई. टिक्कुल टेस्ट यहाँ पे पास हो जाएगा यार. आई डोंट सी अ बिग प्रॉब्लम. नाइट C3 लॉजिकल. you know H4 logical. Like all moves lead home to equality. अब watching increase होगी since cricket over भाई. But are the games crazy enough? Gukesh fighting it out against his second. Divya 4 minutes by the way. Wow. Let's have a look. By the way, knight D5 खेला उन्होंने. Best move bishop H6 and bishop B7. So Divya Deshmukh, if you can have her camera, is slightly worse, but looking okay still, I think. Time is the bigger worry. 5'6" नहीं होता भाई, 178 सेंटीमीटर। कम ऑन कैनवस थॉट्स भाई, अपने थॉट्स थोड़े से रियलिस्टिक रखो। ठीक है, वेयर इज द मैग्नेस फोटो विच यू प्रॉमिस मैग्नेस? भाई मेरे पीछे है भाई वो फोटो, बाय द वे इट्स देयर। सालवा लुक्स बेटर इन रियल लाइफ देन स्ट्रीम, आई सॉ इन टच। ए थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू भाई। ये मेरी बेइज्जती सी तारीफ थी पता नहीं, बट आई टेक इट। इसको फाइनल गिफ्ट करेंगे बेचारे, कभी जीते ही नहीं। नहीं भाई, एक कदम दूर है, अब जीतना है। दिव्या देशमुख, अबे यार पढ़ भी नहीं सकते। 5'10" इज नॉट बोना, माइन इज 5'6". अरे 5'6" कोई इशू नहीं है भाई, जो आपकी हाथ से बाहर है उसमें स्ट्रेस नहीं लेने का। मीनवाइल गोइंग बैक टू गुकेश, कोई चाल नहीं है। ओ क्वीन G5 played by Divya, so knight H5 could be a threat in some cases. Also queen A5, you never know. I am 5'7". Bhai, I was 5 whatever 10 whatever it was at like 16 years old, तब से हाइट बड़ी नहीं। Who is taller? अबे ये क्या है यार, क्या रे तुम लोग, मतलब यार क्या मतलब, जीत क्या गए, ज्यादा ही हीरो बन रहे हैं। हीरो बनो बट नॉट एज एक्सपेंसिव चेस प्लेयर्स। फाइनल कब है बाय द वे? वेयर इज द फाइनल? I am 6'5", 26 years old. Crazy. ठीक भाई, tallest GM कौन है? भाई I know a couple of players. There's one who's Sahaj bhai's friend. I forgot his name. 8th Sunday को है. Ooh, 8th. Wow. No stream on Sunday. So finally I can also see the game. भाई दिव्या गेम ही टाइम प्रेशर, दिव्या गेम ही देख टाइम प्रेशर तक। भाई it's very tough. 11 moves, man. Like, but then Rukesh played a move. He played rook to d4. So he's ready to trade off these two. By the way, koi gate pe aaya, give me like 10 seconds. Yeah, I'll be back. And I'm back. Why Vincent की accuracy Gukesh से ज़्यादा कैसे है? 98.8. Gukesh is slightly better and somehow his accuracy is better. Okay. Queen takes I2 played and now rook h. अरे बाप रे. भाई Gukesh की move देखो यार. He's trying to. So if you play a random move here, let's say you play queen to b3, a random move, yeah, no logic. Just rook e1 first is the idea actually. Rook e1 threatening mate. And if king g8, then rook e8 wins. Bhai, tagda threat. And king g8 is the only move for Vincent Keymer now. But of course, he will find it. I mean, it should not be a big deal. At least कोई threat तो देखने को मिला. Okay. Vincent has 3 minutes. Looking interesting. Come on. Vincent भाई गलती कर दो यार. Perfect opportunity to make a mistake. One move away. I am 7-3 at 20. भाई ये थोड़ी जो extra foot है भाई, ये बांट दिया करो, रेंट दे दिया करो, रेंट पे दे दिया करो भाई. Come on. What an opportunity for Gukesh here. Less than 3 minutes. And chat, everybody joining us right now, congrats on winning and qualifying to the finals. भाई मजे आ गए यार क्रिकेट की, अब चेस की मजे आ जाए. But I think King G8 is obvious for a player of Vincent's caliber. He's not gonna miss. this because clearly check rook e1 ideas deadly. Gukesh at least putting on some pressure on his former second, who helped him win the world championship. Yeah, he is panicking, but of course he will find the best move, I think. An update chat on all the four Indians. Divya is equal right now. Surya is winning. Aravindh is, slightly better equal, and Gukesh is also equal. So far, no Indian words today. Looking like a good day overall. But can Gukesh somehow cause an upset? By the way, 2 minutes remaining for Vincent Keymer. He has to find the king g8 move, only move in the position. Everything else loses. I think he found it. He looks calmer now somehow. Some Bumrah deserved the player of the match. I mean, for sure, man. Which player has the highest IQ? I think Garry Kasparov famously mentioned he had like an IQ of 200 plus, but Magnus has never done an IQ test. He always hated it, but I would assume he would have one of the highest IQs in the chess world for sure. Come on, Vincent भाई गलती कर दो ये गुकेश के पास एक सुनहरा मौका. उसकी आंखें फट रही हैं Vincent Keymer की. He has 1 minute 10 seconds on his clock now. And he finds King G8. The guy is not ready to lose. And by the way, maybe rook e1 now is an option. If you take the pawn, rook e8 is checkmate. But of course, we might fall for this trap. Vincent won't. And knight c3 attacking the queen, defending the rook. The queen maybe will now. Oh, queen a7, only move. Only move for Vincent. If you play something like, I don't know, queen b2, let's say, attacking the knight, then unfortunately, rook e1 is winning. Because you take the knight, I give this check. You take the pawn, I give this mate. So Gukesh finding some nice ideas when Vincent has no time. Queen a7, only move attacking the pawn. Wow, I never thought this would be the only move. There is some pressure. 40th move, by the way, last move before the time control. Gukesh ने भी 40 मूव पे गलती करी थी. Could Vincent Keymer make a similar mistake here? He's shaking his head, by the way. He's shaking his head. But he looks calm. He looks calm right now, chat. So maybe he has seen it all. He missed something, but then he found it. Yeah, it's like, okay, oh, I almost made a mistake. That's the kind of look he had. Could he make a mistake here? 40th move, then both players get 30 more minutes. That would help Vincent stabilize. 30 seconds now. He doesn't have much time, falls back in his chair, gets back down, raises his eyebrows. He's still calculating. 20 seconds. Puts the piece to the right, holds his head in his hand. 16 seconds. Finds queen a7 on the 40th move. Vincent is not ready to let go just yet. And rook d4 played instantly by Gukesh, defending his pawn. And now both the players get some time on the clock. Why not king e7? We can have a look, by the way, if, here you want to play king e7, trying to get out of these checks. Unfortunately, rook e4 check. King f8 is just lost after rook d1. It's mate and I queen. So you can't play it. But queen a7, great find by Vincent. And of course, he can now take a pause, but the game goes on for now. Meanwhile, checking out the games, Divya Deshmukh. Oh, she's building up an attack, actually. Suddenly from, close to equal or whatever, she's, I think, doing better now. I would rather be white here than black. So Divya doing fine. Surya is come. Oh, wow. Look at this. Queen versus rook, bishop and knight. So white is technically material up, but knight hanging, pawn hanging, you can't save everything. So Surya is close to winning because of how, uncoordinated white's pieces are. So this is great. And Aravindh Chithambaram is also completely equal. I mean, in fact, I would prefer this position any day. Has more space in the center. Rooks coming in. Looking great. So Indian players doing really well. Going back to Gukesh. How many moves does Divya have, by the way? Checking out how many moves does she have to play. She has 1 minute on the clock. Ooh, she still has to play 9 moves in 1 minute. So maybe it's time to look at Divya's game. Getting tough. She has a glass of water calmly, but she needs to be on her guard for the next 9 moves. apparently the best move is h5, but that's not something white wants to play at all. Because h5, mein, there are a lot of tactics you have to calculate with bishop takes, knight takes, and so on. You don't want to be that guy. If he finds h5, that would be impressive. Super crucial. Black is nervous. He also doesn't have all the time in the world. 10 minutes hai, but it's not enough in these crazy positions. What will he do? He's holding his hair. He's nervous. He knows Divya is preparing for the candidates. He's not happy with this position. Divya building up an attack and chat again. It's all about king safety. Whenever we have time pressure, जब time कम होता है clock के ऊपर, king safety is the number one deciding factor on practically who has the better chances to win. बाकी सब कुछ secondary है. If your king is safe, I mean, you will have good chances. If a king is open, oh, he finds h5, the guy, and queen e4 instantly played by Divya. And chat, there could be some sacrifices ready to happen on h5 now. Black has to be careful. Also pressure on e6. You can't play queen c7 because queen e6 is lost. India won, absolutely. But can India has won in cricket? Can they also win in chess now? Thinking. Will be Gukesh trainer in World Championship? I think it could be anybody. Of course, a lot of his former seconds. Gaevsky, by the way, he mentioned is in Prague with him there. Come on. Okay, as she thinks, one look at the game of Gukesh. Okay, no moves by Vincent just yet. So let's go back to Divya. Bishop a8 played by, her opponent, defending the bishop with the rook. Now the knight could move somewhere with deadly effect because pehle hanging tha bishop. Now where will knight b4 is a threat now, for example. So Divya, and if you take on h5, for example, it is not working just yet because gh5, queen h7 check and just king e8. And the king defends the queen and koi bhi tactic kaam nahi kar rahi hai. Queen h5, king d8 and black is winning, even though it looks dangerous. With Prague seconds, I think we know one. One is Web of Suri. That's the obvious one, which we know. Rest are all a mystery, actually. Damn, he's so... Okay. Meanwhile, no moves just yet. Art move khelni hai Divya ko. She has 50 seconds, finds the best move, queen d3, getting out of that, dangerous discover attack. The queen is a very important piece here because black's king is weak. You need it for the attack. What will her opponent do now? Crucial moment. 9 minutes for him. Black has maintained secrecy about his team, even Arjun. That's true, and that's very important. Prague second is Peter Swidler. I think that was the case at one point. But as he is well known, I doubt he's going to go back to Peter Swidler unless the experience was like so positive. Both are so okay, interesting. Okay, as they think, just one look at the game of Gukesh. If any moves have happened, not really. Vincent's still thinking. Is there venom in the position? I'm not sure. Like, how do you attack the rook like ever? Because you have to get to c6, I think. And that's a long path to get to c6. You can't really... Maybe you have to play knight d5, knight b4, knight c6 and hope for the best. Or you also have some... Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It will require some mistakes from Vincent. Going back to Divya's game again. Who's your favorite player? Yeah, of course it has to be Magnus, no? Someone said both are so good looking, can't disagree to. Wow. It's just the only game in which we have to work like crazy hard even to be mid. I disagree. I think we just underestimate how much effort it takes to become good at any sport. Of course, the amount of stuff to learn in chess is too much. Like um, cricket mein off drive hai, you understand the basics, then it's all about practice. Yeah, I think. But chess mein there's so much depth, of course. So it's gonna be always difficult. Cricket has no competition. I mean, that's obviously known. Yeah, I mean, 50 crore view आते हैं यार. I mean, sorry, not 50 crore, like ऐसे 50 million views आते हैं आराम से. कितने आए भाई हॉटस्टार पे आज व्यूज मैच के? वुड बी वेरी क्यूरियस टू नो. 50 करोड़ ही आए हैं? क्या बात कर रहे हो? वाओ, 51 करोड़. कोई कह रहे हैं, प्रोड्यूसर साहब कह रहे हैं हमारे 55 करोड़. Damn, that's like, wait, that's more than one third the population. Yeah, like 40% of the population. That's crazy. And that's just on, I'm guessing that's just Jio Hotstar. Like टीवी का अलग है क्या? या टीवी पे है ही नहीं? स्टार स्पोर्ट्स पे आ रहा है क्या मैच? चैट लेट अस नो. ओह वाओ, फेक नंबर्स. टीवी अलग, यस. डैम. You know, I was watching the match जब इंडिया की बैटिंग चल रही थी, एंड माय पेरेंट्स आर वाचिंग, सो आई सैट डाउन फॉर अ फ्यू मिनट्स, एंड जब गेम चालू होने में 1 घंटा 5 मिनट थे ना, like 5:55 we opened, we switched on the TV, and उस टाइम पे it was 45 lakh views, and I was like, अभी 1 घंटा 5 मिनट स्टार्ट होने में है, 45 lakh views on Jio Hotstar, and that's the exact amount of views we had for the World Championship final. Gukesh versus Day final game. I was like, damn. मैच स्टार्ट होने के 65 मिनट पर जितने व्यूज थे वो हमारे फिनाले में थे भाई, इन द मोस्ट व्यूड चेस स्ट्रीम एवर. क्रिकेट इज ऑन अदर लेवल भाई. दैट्स ऑफ कोर्स नॉट पॉसिबल, दे हैड जस्ट क्रिएटेड फेक हाइप. श्योर, आई मीन, बट होंगे यार, मतलब इट मस्ट बी टेंस ऑफ करोड़ फॉर श्योर, लाइक देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट. वो रिसेंट इमरान हाशमी की देख सकते हो सीरीज, या दैट्स द वन. कौन सी थी वो? अरविंद 1 मिनट. Oh, by the way, heading back to Aravindh, he has to play 8 moves in just under 1 minute, and Jordan also doesn't have much time. So another time pressure. We have Jordan on one side and Divya on the other. दोनों बहुत pressure में है. And then we can switch to Gukesh occasionally. Oh, and what does he play? He plays c5. Okay, not a bad move. Maroge, I think you want to play f4 is my guess. On the right side we have Aravindh. On the left side we have Divya. Let us use if watch once, then stop watching, watch again. Of course, yeah, that's always true. That's true for YouTube as well, by the way. That's how a view is counted. Just only intelli people will watch. Wow. Intelli people. Do I belong to the intelli people? I'm not sure. Yeah. Gukesh improved fast formats in 2025 but sacrificed classical chess. By it's like saying he, yeah, I want to complete that code actually. Meanwhile, waiting for... did he play 97? He's putting pressure. He wants to exchange the bishops on a8 and f3 now. So bishop takes f3 ka threat hai. And if you take with the queen, this queen takes d4. So black is interested in exchanging pieces now, and that makes sense because knight also defends d6 now. 97, a great idea. By the way, f takes e4 played in the Jordan game on the right, and f4, super important move. And now the e5 square is like a shielded square for the black king. आराम से e5 बैठ सकता है वो. No stress whatsoever. Things looking great for the Indian players right now. Ukesh का गेम दिखा दो भाई. बिल्कुल Ukesh का गेम देख सकते हैं. Can we go to Ukesh's game for a second? Because we have seen one move that was g6 by Vincent Keymer, but that doesn't change anything, to be honest. Again, to win the game, your knight needs to attack the rook. Where can you attack the rook from? You can't attack from here. You can't get to the rook to e8 because it will hang directly. The square is c6 or b7. b7 is controlled. So c6 is the square. And if you play knight d5, let's say threatening this or knight b4, let's say king g7 and knight b4. And finally, you're about to play here. Black can actually play queen a4, and black is better. Believe it or not, black is better. Knight attacked, pawn attacked, and knight has no moves. It literally has no moves. You can go knight d5, but then I take the pawn for free, and black is winning. So you can lose this while you're trying to push. Meanwhile, Vincent बिल्कुल वो Sigma style में खड़े हैं भाई पीछे. He reminds me of Ajay Devgan in some movies. I don't know why. Meanwhile, Mukesh still thinking. And as he thinks, maybe it's time to go back to the Aravindh and Divya games together and see what's happening there, because both of them under time pressure. Aravindh just a minute on the clock. Divya 30 seconds on the clock. And we have seen trades. So bishop takes a8 happened in the Divya game. As you can see, rook is on a8 right now. And knight has come to f5, pressuring that d4 pawn. What does Divya do? Either she can go on the defensive, rook d1 खेल के d4 pawn बचाया, or she can go on the offensive with knight f4 now, attack e6 and g6. देखो रिसेंटली टूर्नामेंट, बहुत टूर्नामेंट में नए लोग आए हैं, एसिपेंको, ब्लू बाम, वैन फॉरेस्ट, इंडीड. सो यूजुअली आई थिंक ये बहुत बार हो चुका है. By the rook c1 played, activating the rook. So we've seen this multiple times. Basically, when you have these closed events जहां invitations होते हैं, the top players keep playing each other and then keep maintaining their rating. But when you have these open events, as we saw in the World Cup, nobody expected Sindarov to, win the event, for example. So जब भी open events आते हैं जहां पे other people get a chance, they've constantly proven कि भाई, the top players sometimes can be shielded from those rating losses. By the way, rook d8, black pressuring the d4 pawn heavily now. Divya needs to take a call. Maybe rook c4. But b5 will be a nuisance sometimes. Maybe एक g3 या h3 खेल दो, because at least king को आपके पास back rank issues नहीं है. So for example, if you play h3, knight d4, queen d4, rook d4, at least you have rook c7 and takes the pawn. That should be equal. What will Divya go for? Tough. Has what, 30 seconds on the clock? Plays h3, plays my move. Wow. मैं तो ऐसे randomly बोल दिया था यार. Guki done. What does done mean? Let's go back to Gukesh game. By the way, g6, h4 played. Okay. Nice move. And Chad, I think यहाँ पे there could be some king side attack. I know it sounds ridiculous, but there could be some moves like rook d5, rook d4. Okay, you have to be careful. Yeah, this queen a1 check winning the knight. Maybe king h2 first, but then you start to push these rooks up. h5, and maybe there could be some rook lifts here which can be used. But yeah, with enough time on the clock, 21 मिनट बहुत है विंसेंट के लिए. Do you think India can become like a Soviet Union in chess back in the 80s, 90s? Well, India was headed in that direction because we had so many top players, 4 players actually of 2750. But then we've seen the slump in the last 6 months. And suddenly Aravindh is below 2700, Prague Gukesh Arjuna below 2750. So it's very hard to know. But there are good signs. And if the players get the rating back, then definitely a possibility. By the way, Arjun is world number 9 now because Wesley So lost some rating. Wow. So there's still ways to gain some ranks there. Meanwhile, Ganguly seems to be winning. White has somehow stabilized though a bit. यहाँ पे apparently you had to play h5, but queen b2 looks so tempting. And it looks like white is still holding on for dear life. अगर ये pawn मिल जाता, we would be completely winning. But rook ने ये defend किया है, knight ने ये, and now white just wants to chop off these 2 pawns and then come after these ones. So slightly tricky position. Surya has time, so should be okay. Yeah, going back to the Gukesh game, no moves just yet. So let's head back to Aravindh now. जहाँ पे कुछ moves आई हैं, we saw it, I think, till f4, right? This is where we left it. f4, knight b3, rook d8, c3, only move for Jorden that he finds. Knight d3, rook a6, rook d6 cannot talk about. This is also okay. e5, rook e7, e6 check, king f6, and this is the current position. Still a bit tricky. I must admit, दोनों players के पास 2 minutes and 2 more moves to go till the time control. क्या होगा यहाँ पे? Jordan about to play the tournament leader. Has played some fascinating chess. Good game from Guki, but tough to win against Keymer. I'm gonna say it's tough always. It's gonna be tough against anybody above 2700, I think. So Gukesh has to push regardless. In fact, let's not forget he defeated like multiple 2650 players on his Olympiad rampage. So for Gukesh, it's always tough, but he's done it before. Which India has a stable place in top 10 for next few years? I think all three, Arjun, Prague, Gukesh, should have that stable spot, even though a couple have dropped below the world top 10, but they're right there in the top 15. And these, changes in form do take place sometimes, and they should strike back again. Not a big deal. Meanwhile, Van Foreest still thinking, has a minute on the clock. Divya has 20 seconds. Let's have a look. H3, H4, Queen E4, and Rook C8. Come on, come on. Next event of the candidates is actually another event जो Chesscom का होगा. It's now Global Chess Championship जो होने वाली थी वो होगी in a different name. So that's going to be the next one. That's 4 days in April, I think. And then it's going to be tapering. Rather Rook C8, Rook C8. Okay, black is better now, I think, because this is the weakness. The king is a bit stuck. This pawn is a big nuisance for white. Black has control over the c file. So black slightly better, but why g4 is a risky double-edged move by Divya here. But she wants to break through. He's like, I don't want to suffer in this position. Take this pawn and let's, remove your strong pawn on h4. And 40th move thi. So Divya has reached time control. So let's head back to Aravindh. Usko extra time milega. And by the way, 39 moves here played. Aravindh needs to play 2 more moves to reach the 40th move and the time control. Then they'll get more time. So 2 moves अच्छे से खेलनी Aravindh को, and he should be okay now. Is playing any tournament for candidates? No, I think candidates starts in March. It's only 23, 24 days away. There is no time to play any more events. And now it's just for preparation. I'm pretty sure all the players in the candidates either are playing a tournament or are, getting some camp done right now. It is crunch time. And yeah, they could be a month away from their dream coming true. Gukesh drew yesterday, although yesterday was a great game by Gukesh. So has been today, but can he win is the question. By the way, Aravindh thinking 1 minute on the clock, less than 1. Come on. What is the next Gukesh tournament he will play? I think that will be the GCT Poland tournament, Rapid and Blitz. That's in first week of May that he's going to play. Who will win the candidates? Bye. If I knew that, I would be partying right now. I'm hoping it's Prague. Okay, I can see Aravindh panicking a bit. We saw him blunder yesterday from a winning to a drawn position. I don't think he'll be Anish's second because he's not as focused on chess. He's exploring his other interests right now. Which Indian state chess association has the best chess infrastructure? Very hard to know for sure, but I guess I think Tamil Nadu would be one of the best ones for sure. Maharashtra as well. By the way, Knight King F5 played. Walks up the board. Why? That's a bit risky, Knight F3, ये knight ला तो rook E5 check, rook G5 कुछ हो सकता है. Like it's a bit tricky. Still equal. By the way, Jordan instantly plays knight F3. Now you have to be a bit accurate as Aravindh. Don't want to blunder on the 40th move. Grenke fictional classical. I don't think so. Gukesh, I think during April will be focused on the candidates because remember, jo bhi candidate jitega, he's going to play Gukesh. So Gukesh might have his eyes carefully on that one. By the way, come on, bhai. Oof, bhai, he's close, yeah. Took a lot of time, but played 8 seconds, rook D5 with 8 seconds on the clock. And now Van Foreest is thinking, okay, safe enough. I think I've been so far saving the game. Let's have a look at all the 4 games. Divya, first of all, by the pawn has been taken and passant, and the game looks Slight. Wait, why is Divya? Wait, what just happened? Is she resting or is she sad about the position? Wait, what just happened? That's not normal, right? That you've not seen Divya sit that way before. It's not so obvious to me why. She might be sick. Don't think so. Is she resting? But this looks like the look of somebody who's blundered. Hey, Lagina, she's blundered, but no, there is no blunder though. Wait, what happened? I'm kind of curious. Okay, she takes out the pawn. Okay, I don't know what that was. um, Headache, probably, yeah, probably a headache. But regardless, that looked much more sad than it should have been. The game is equal, so not a problem. Okay, interesting. So let's go back to the game of Gukesh. By the way, he's played a move after Queen's 90, G3, Queen B7 was played. Okay, no, King G7 was the last move, right? H4, King G7, G3, Queen B7. Apparently, Rook B1 was a strong move here, and not clear why. Knight E4. Finally, the knight comes in. Queen C6, best move. Knight C3, Queen C7. They've repeated once, chat. They have repeated the position once. So, crucial moment. Will the world champion take the draw? No, she didn't blunder, by the way. She didn't blunder. So, I think she was just resting there. Maybe a bit tired. This tournament has been long. And she's often played players who are much stronger than her. So, it can take a toll on you sometimes. Yeah, likely she's just tired, chat. Yoshpa, what's up? By the way, he's repeating chat. Okay, Gukesh is repeating after Queen C6, Knight C3 will be a draw. I think Gukesh couldn't find a way to push. And unless he's about to play Knight G5 or something, which is unlikely. Yeah, Queen D7, Queen C6. Queen C6 played by. And it is a draw. Yeah, it is a draw. Wow. It is a draw. So that is the end of the game of Gukesh versus Vincent. There it is, handshakes. And a comfortable draw for Gukesh, was never under pressure. Vincent was under a lot of pressure around the 40th move, but he really defended well. So, yeah, a draw for the world champ. Gains a rating point or two there. So that is amazing. So, yeah, Vincent and Gukesh, of course, joking around because they are not friends, maybe, but at least decent acquaintances and friends. They've worked together for the world championship, and that is a draw. So, time to check out the other three games. Let's go to Aravindh, meanwhile, jahan pe the game is still on. The earth is healing slowly. Exactly why. Exactly. And by the way, chat, tomorrow, I think we still have games going on, but for tomorrow, the games start early. I'm checking the exact start time. I think it is like 3 hours or 4 hours earlier, something like that. I'll tell you the exact time though. Good job, Kesh. Yeah. Did he arrange his pieces? I think he did. There was a one-off जहाँ पे उन्होंने arrange नहीं किया. So that is great. And yes, chat. So final round tomorrow starts at 3:45. So we'll likely be back around, we'll be live for the stream around like an hour later or so, something like that. So 4:45, so we'll be live. And yeah, and by the way, this game potentially about to end in a draw as well, because there is a repetition if the players want it, and that is Knight C1 attacking the rook. Unfortunately for white, the best move is rook e1. Otherwise, you're worse. Imagine this: rook d2, king e4. That is crazy. Wow. So you have to play rook e1, and now knight d3, b2 attacked. So you have to play rook e2, and it is a draw. So if Aravindh wants a draw, he has it. Surprise, Ukesh didn't push. I think he did push for a while. Maybe he didn't push till the very end. But I still feel like he did push. It wasn't like it was a comfortable, no effort draw for Gukesh. He fought till the end when he thought he had no chances. He agreed to a draw, and sometimes that's okay, especially in an event which has not gone your way. Yeah, he's trying to build his confidence. Yeah, draw against Keymer does build your confidence, especially when you're pushing throughout. You were not worse. You were pushing 40th move. You even had an only move for black, which he found. So you know, ki bhai, you're kind of getting back into action in your decent form. By the way, update on the other two games. Surya, by the way, still close to winning. He's found this incredible move A5 after Bishop C8. He can even take on B4, gain another pawn. So looks like he's still close to winning. And Divya, I think this will be a very, very long game, by the way. Very long game. Unless they agree to a draw, this could last very long. And black could push for a long time here. So, yeah, right now it's close to equal, but black is like tiny, tiny, tiny bit better. I think Arvind's game crucial right now. What will Arvind do? He's not even at the board. Time जा रहा है भाई. Why, Yogesh, after seeing Divya went back. Really, I didn't notice all that. By however, do you think India has any aggressive players, positional and defensive players? I think aggressive hai. I think aggressive is sometimes we look at games like Mikhail Tal or Kasparov and we think like kash hum bhi aise khelte. But I think chess has evolved a bit with engines, and it just means कि preparation इतनी high है लोगों की कि you sometimes can't just go for it. You need solid foundations and people don't really make mistakes. आजकल इतनी तभी तो 99 एक्यूरेसी कल दिव्या ने 99.9 एक्यूरेसी से खेला यार imagine how do you attack against that accuracy you can't two draws but two very good games exactly these two games are very good from Mukesh solid and he was pushing if anything um, why you read such by map I read very quickly yeah because otherwise I would not be able to read comments so kai bar halfway the comment looks nice yeah why did Gukesh go back after then suddenly it's like oh man. Meanwhile, Arvind still not at the board. Where is he, bhai? Clock is ticking down. 3 minute हो गए यार. Come on, Arvind. भाई आ जाओ. भाई कितने? भाई पनवेल गेम खेलने के बाद निकलना है भाई. अभी गेम खत्म नहीं हुई. भाई कहाँ है यार ये? I actually thought that's Levon, but that's a Surya. I don't know why I thought that's Levon. Lukesh draw already. Yes, Lukesh just drew like 3 to 4 minutes back. So that game has ended. And now we are looking at the game of Arvind, the other game in the Prague Masters. This is the first time in history a world champion doesn't win a game in tournament. I don't think so. I think it's we're used to Magnus being the world champion, and sometimes it becomes like a thing. Okay, he never loses, but I think this would not likely be like a record. I think it must have happened before multiple times. Everybody has slumps in their form, like it happens very normally. Magnus is an exception, by he's the goat. There have been like what 18 world champions, right, in the history of chess. And गोट के लिए अगर तुम सोचो तो मैक्स टू मैक्स 3 दिमाग में नाम आते हैं राइट लाइकली 2 कस्पारो और मैग्नस तो बाकी 15-16 वर्ल्ड चैंपियन भी थे एंड दे आर इन द टॉप द बेस्ट प्लेयर्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड in their times historically I mean look at the names yeah I mean Vishy sir hai like it's Karpov like legends of the game कई थोड़े फनी प्लेयर्स भी हैं क्रैनिक जैसे तरह से तो चलता रहता है why there's a crowd like crowd of course there are crowds you can come and watch the games just like in India अगर आप वर्ल्ड कप में आए थे गोवा में अगर आप वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में आए थे मुंबई में you would have seen टाटा स्टील में आए थे कोलकाता में या चेन्नई में आए थे चेन्नई जीएम के लिए you would have seen a crowd and you would have seen players एक अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है भाई to see chess action live in front of you Arvind David Navara tomorrow yeah that's gonna be crazy and who's Ukesh playing tomorrow I'm gonna check Round 9. Tomorrow, Gokesh plays David Anton. Okay, that's with black. So tomorrow he could have good chances to win. Somebody who's not as strong as the others. If he gets that win, that's going to be huge for his confidence final round. Mein. Hands game, please. Okay. Just one look at the hands game. कुछ crazy चल रहा है क्या? Event games. Hands जी कहाँ है? Hands, 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 hands. But hands is completely winning against David Anton, by the way. And David Anton से कल खेलना उन्होंने गुकेश ने. So wait, how did he win this though? Okay, by starting से winning था. I think he was winning from the opening. Yeah. Where did it go wrong for David Anton? जरा चक्कर मार के आते हैं position में. Okay, so far so good. Knight f4. Okay. 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 This was the mistake. Yeah, knight f4 was the mistake. And on f5, g file खुल गई. लग गए black king के. Queen d7 takes. Ooh, dunder. Takes, and now just check. Queen d5. And the black pieces are just passive. Yeah, completely winning for hands. So that's great for hands. Okay, going back to the game. Divya game once. Any updates? Yeah, just a couple of moves. Queen c7, king f2, and knight d6. Okay, still close to a draw. Black is still better, I think, slightly. And Surya game. Ooh, Surya has bossed up his advantage to some extent, I think. Bishop e8, ab4, which means he had to find queen f6, but he played queen e5. Okay, very hard to see the subtle differences, man. Tough position to win, but Surya is the one pushing, so only two results possible. Meanwhile, Aravindh back at the board, but has not played his move yet. Knight to c1 is an instant draw if he wants it. So it's up to him. Knight c1, rook e1, knight d3, rook e2 is a repetition. Wonder if he'll take it. I think he can. I think white's pieces are strong enough. It's not like a better position for black in any way. But depends. How does he feel about his, how is his confidence right now? Is he tired? Because tomorrow, chat, remember the round starts early. So the players know that, and the chances of accepting a draw go higher because you just want to be ready for the next round. You still have to prepare for tomorrow. Can Gukesh avoid last place tomorrow? So I'm checking. Do we have the standings right now? If we can have a look. I don't think he has avoided the last place just yet. Oh, he has, but Hans is winning. And Aravindh will draw. So Aravindh will go to 3.5. And Hans will go to 3.5. So no, Gukesh will be last by. Unfortunately, okay, if he defeats David Anton, then he might be second last, I think. Because David will lose this game. And if he loses, yes, that's the only way he finishes second last. Otherwise, he'll be last. Going back to the game now. Still no moves by Aravindh. He's thinking. In your opinion, which Indian player has the best endgame play? Maybe Prague, yeah? Like in terms of technical skills, maybe Prague has good endgame play. Is there an international event to be scheduled in Pune? Not heard of any event, actually. Last time we had the Women's Grand Prix in Pune. That was amazing. I think which Humpy won. Zhu was second. I think Divya was third. If Hans wins, Uki may drop to World 21. Okay, 2021 with a difference nahi hai yaar, I think at this point. So if Uki can win tomorrow, I think he will, walk with his head held high. Ki, okay, I fought back at the end. Divya game. Okay, just one look. I think we had a look at it. But to be honest, I think the problem is, I'll just explain it structurally, not really with variations, because this can go in multiple ways. Basically, first of all, the problem is the pawn islands. Black has two pawn islands. Pawn island ऐसे बोलते हैं कि भाई जो pawns connected हो, ये दोनों connected है, then there is some separation. So this is one pawn island and this is two. So black has two pawn islands, white has three pawn islands. जितने pawn islands होते हैं endgame में उतना बेकार होता है because the pawns can't support each other. So here, because white has three, white is slightly worse. Next, black has control of the c file. Now, black cannot enter on these three squares just now, but its queen c4 is an option. And also knight d6 play. If the queen goes to f3, for example, then our queen c2 or queen c4 becomes more likely. See, queen c2 already the best move, as expected. And then knight e4 check comes in. So, pawn islands plus control over c file gives black an advantage. Lekin, because it's queens and white could have perpetuals in some shape or form, the drawing chances are still high. Agar queen end games mein, there's always perpetuals you have to keep an eye out for. So I would say, agar 100% mein se 10% Divya wins, 40% draw, 40% black wins would be my expectation from this position if they played 100 games. So let's see. I think Divya right now looks safe. And going back to the game of Aravindh now, Has he played knight c1? No moves just yet. White has to be island. अरे भाई, भाई पॉन आइलैंड है भाई, चेस टर्म्स इतने 100 साल पहले बन चुका है. Mukesh shouldn't feel too bad. Hans, the first American world champion, is right there with him. By he's not the first American world champion because that was you know who. By the way, he does not take the draw. So knight to c1 was not played. King f6 instead. But I mean, it's also a waiting move. Yeah, it's not really threatening much. So if is it threatening some things? Let's say I play king f1. What is black's move? I'm trying to understand actually. Still not moves actually. No impressive moves. Knight c1 best move. So that means black is not really doing much. Black is waiting. Now will white wait as well? If white wait is, then we might see some repetition, yeah? Like king f1, king f5, king g1, king f6. The weirdest repetition ever could happen. David Navara, भाई whenever somebody says David Navara, I am intrigued. Because भाई की गेम खतरनाक होती है. कहाँ है डेविड नवारा लेकिन? Wait, David Navara is okay. It's a boring endgame actually. So it's likely going to be a draw. 7 p.m. IST for candidates. It's 6, no? I think it's 6. Do check it, Anshul bhai. I think it's 6. ये क्या है भाई? ये क्या force था? I feel that was intentional. Like camera के सामने खड़े बंदा है. I don't know. Are you sure it's 7 p.m.? I thought it's 6 p.m. But okay, interesting. अच्छा वो भी टाइम जोन शिफ्ट होगा क्या? डे लाइट सेविंग्स मे बी. बट बट ओके, check with the daylight savings by the way, because daylight savings भी आती हैं, so it can change things sometimes. Just keep an eye out. Meanwhile, still no moves. Waiting for the moves here. Don't see anything. Okay, Divya के camera. Let's go back to Arvind's camera if possible. I'm sure the disturbance has left. Cyprus is not safe. I hope it is safe by the time the tournament starts. Sahil Tikku, who. Wow. Wow, man. You must be great at parties. What can Divya done? Wow. My second question, what happened to I am Bhakti Kulkarni, GM Adiban Bhaskaran? Do not hear or see much about them unless I'm missing something. I think you're correct. Adiban, I think I've seen multiple places. He's played some events. I've also talked to him on a few occasions. He's hilarious, by the way. Wait, Divya blunder? Kya baat? Oh, Divya has made a big mistake. But okay, it's very hard to find. Yeah, I mean, Queen f4 looks so logical because you're pinning the knight. You're pressuring this f6 pawn. So g4, g5 could be a move, or oh, it's tough. And g5 apparently. Oh, this is tough. And queen f3, I'm guessing queen c2 hoga. Again with the same idea. Oh, this is tough. Divya is now worse. And I think black is about to play g5. See, he's confused. Yeah, why queen f4? Her opponent is shocked by queen f4. Yeah, I think he's going to play g5. He looks like वो किसी ने वो कौन सा है वो किड शेल्डन क्या है वो भाई वो हाँ टीवी शो उसमें जो भाई होता है उसका शेल्डन का उसकी तरह लग रहा है बंदा एक्चुअली थोड़ा बहुत. आई डोंट नो इफ यू अग्री. Divya's opponent is not GM. Yeah, he's an IM, but he's 2490, so pretty much GM. Young Sheldon, yes, not Kid Sheldon भाई, वो तो Kid Boo होता है. Georgie, yes, Georgie की तरह लग रहा है ना? Doesn't it look like Georgie a little bit, है ना? Or am I just hallucinating a bit? By the G5 played, best move, can't come to E4 back, and now Divya is struggling indeed. Georgie Cooper, Lemau. Yeah. So Divya under pressure now. Surya, by the way, has a slightly better position again, so that's good news. So meanwhile, going back to Aravindh, no moves by Jorden van Foreest though. Yeah, he looks like Georgie, no? Interesting. Shekhar is so lead in the open tournament. That is amazing. Faustino Oro, by the way, missed his chance to become the youngest GM, so that's harsh. But okay, I mean, it doesn't matter at the end. Sure, your name will be written. I mean, Abhimanyu Mishra, yeah, he became the youngest GM. He's stuck on 26, 20, 40 for the past 2 years. So just becoming the youngest GM doesn't guarantee anything. Although, yeah, I mean, maybe for the record, you want to chase it, but it's not a traumatic episode for him. थोड़ा थोड़ा विली की ये क्या है भाई? You think hand? अरे भाई, that's such a. मैं अभी डैनी रेंच की बुक पढ़ के आ रहा हूँ, so I'm not going to touch that topic right now. Um, do you know chat? तुमने किस किसने मूवी देखी है? कौन सी थी वो? Searching for Bobby Fischer. Have you seen that movie? किसी ने देखी है क्या वो? Divya, another blunder. Oh no, Queen C1, big blunder by Divya Deshmukh. Isn't it just lost? Wait, it's completely lost. What was this? Queen C1, Knight C1, Knight B5? Wait, isn't it just a simple fork? Wait, what? Wait, what is this? Wait, what? Okay, A4, Knight D4? Wait, I don't see it. Wait, what's the problem? King E3, Knight C2. Okay, she blundered, yeah? Oh, look at her. She's blundered, yeah? She realizes the blunder. Oh, it's a simple blunder now. She realizes the blunder. Divya Deshmukh making an elementary blunder, a shocking blunder actually. A player of a caliber missing out a simple move knight b5. I don't know what she missed. She was under pressure. Wow, this is shocking actually. This is shocking. This is the kind of blunder which spoils their entire tournament, because just for the candidates, you can be like, oh my God, how can I make this mistake? Ooh, this is what pressure does to you. Her opponent is shell shocked. Okay, what did she just play? He's putting the pen to the side, pulling up his sleeves, pulling up the chair, drinking water. Yeah, so Divya is going to lose, unfortunately. Her second loss of the tournament, she's played very well, was getting 8.5 rating points in this event, is going to lose a bunch of them, I think around 5, I guess, in this game. She should not show such emotions. I mean, I think I agree with you in principle. Ki usually when you're losing, you should have a poker face. But this is such an elementary blunder, right? I mean, she can't expect her opponent to miss it. Like, Queen, आपने ही trade offer किया है. Opponent को सिर्फ ये calculate करना है. Takes knight b5. She will not expect her opponent to miss this. Like, for sure, there is no chance. Yeah, this is just a free pawn. And knight in games, pawn in games की तरह होती हैं. Extra pawn is just completely winning. You're not going to survive this. And you can see, yeah, her opponent is just thinking, but it's over. Yeah. So this game about to be over. Meanwhile, Surya still slightly better. Looking at wait, what did just Jordan play? G4. Why he is not ready for a draw just yet? Actually, he's playing on. Okay, n passant takes. Good move, of course. Now G3 should be obvious. Now what though? Doesn't Black have like his own play here? I'm not really sure. Yeah, A5 played instantly by Alvin. Great move. Let White see how is he drawing this. I'm not really sure why G4 was such a great move from White. रोहित क्यों नहीं हो रही पढ़ाई? ये क्या था भाई? Yeah, Divya, going back to Divya's game, by the way. No moves. Can we have Divya on one side and Aravindh on the other if possible? Yes, amazing. And you can see both the games now. Yeah, there it is. Queen takes c1, knight takes c1. And we are going to see resignation, I think, knight b5. Maybe Divya will play on. I think she could play on. I think she should actually. Sometimes there can be mistakes in these endgames. They are sometimes tricky. So maybe resigning is a bit too early, but yeah, objectively, she's lost. She usually doesn't show emotions. Um, I don't know. I don't know about that one actually. I've seen her show emotions before. Also, this kind of blunder is shocking, I think, for somebody who's like a strong grandmaster. Meanwhile, Zenu to ladka nikla. Bhai, of course, yeah, there are multiple people who use their parents' phone. Like, इतने टाइम से तुम मॉड हो भाई, पता होना चाहिए. He might go for check instead. Who might go for check instead? Ooh, there is no check for either game actually. तुम्हें कौन सी चेक दिख रही है यार? नाइट चेक. भाई कौन सा नाइट चेक दे रहा है भाई? पूरे दोनों गेम में कोई नाइट नहीं चेक दे सकता है. She sometimes expresses like Hikaru. Exactly. I've seen her express like Hikaru before. Is there a screen to see chess? Yes, there is a screen. So behind the cameras, so let's say you are sitting in the hall and you had this camera view. Behind you would be the screen जहाँ पे सारी games चल रही हैं. So the spectators can see the 2D version of the games. But Divya is now losing, so that game is close to equal. Surya is still slightly better, and Aravindh is still holding. Chad, I think we're gonna stream till midnight, and I think we're gonna call it a day. But I think आज के दिन के लिए जो मुझे लग रहा है, basically Gukesh drew. Divya is gonna lose. That's unfortunate. Aravindh is gonna draw very soon. In fact, he has a repetition right now if he wants it with knight c1. And Surya is the only mystery angle here. It's not clear if he'll win this one. Let's see what happens. Pragati. Damn. Rekindled my interest after 12 years. Thanks for the coverage. Arey, glad to have you on the stream. It's only the beginning. This year is so jam-packed, by the way. Just to highlight the calendar, अभी साज भाई नहीं है रोस्ट करने के लिए कैलेंडर सुनाने के लिए so I'm going to highlight the calendar again. But this is the Surya position I was talking about. You can see how G takes f4, Queen takes f4. It's still very unclear if Black will be able to win this because White has a bunch of pieces to sack, right? I will sack the knight for a couple of pawns, the bishop for a couple of pawns, maybe Queen versus Rook आ सकता है यहाँ पे. So should be winning for Surya, good chances, but not absolutely clear. So by the way, Divya has played b5 and now I think e5 and the king walks in. In fact, surprisingly, the black king is better placed, I think, for this setup. So Divya completely lost now. This game is basically over. And finally, Aravindh Chithambaram, I think, waiting for Jorden. Let's stick to this game for the final few minutes. And yes, about the calendar charts. So let's just highlight in the calendar. So this tournament ends tomorrow. Kal, by the way, round jaldi hai. That starts. The round starts at 3:45. We'll start at 4:45. And tomorrow Prague Masters ends. Let's hope so. Indian players get a few wins tomorrow. Iske baad, the next event will be candidates. That will start from May 29th. That's round one. That will last till April 16th. Then April 16th ke baad next is I think the Chesscom Global Chess Championship, Chesscom Open as it will be called. So that's going to happen from in the second last, the last week of April, I think, something like that. Somewhere in April, I think it's there. So candidates just baad wo hoga. Then May we're going to have Tepe Sigmund in the first week of May. And at the same time, we're going to have GCT Poland. So एक तरफ Magnus Arjun खेल रहे हैं, एक तरफ Gukesh Prag खेल रहे हैं. Then उसके बाद we're going to have GCT Romania. उसके just बाद we're going to have Norway Chess. फिर Norway Chess के बाद I think there is like I don't know if Uzbekistan Chess Cup is happening this year. It happened last year. Then we're going to have Bullet Chess Championship. It's like absolutely packed. I think Chennai GM is gonna happen, of course, as well. Um, Somewhere I think from June to August, hopefully. Then we have, I think, GCT Croatia, of course, where we had that in, Gukesh's Magnus again. Then we have, I think, WSCC at some point, Women's Speed Chess Championship. Then we have the Esports World Cup. Then we have the GCT finals. We have the global September में global chess league and Olympiad पूरा cover कर रहे हैं महीना. Then October में total world chess championship, speed chess championship भी होगी, I'm guessing. Then November में it is the EWC Nations Cup along with the world championship. Of course, December में world championship and FIDE World Rapid and Blitz and some other events usually you always see in December. So it is so packed. It's insane. Yeah, Max is not playing GCT Croatia this time, but it's still a packed field. Nodirbek is playing. I saw the lineup. We had like, I think, Fabi, Gukesh, Prague, Nodirbek. So it's extremely packed. I try at timestamp note karo. Yeah, let's have a look at a move here from Van Foreest. My guess is he's literally going to play something like King G2 or something. Okay, he's about to touch his rook, but that doesn't change anything. Where does he put the rook? Rook A6? Maybe rook B6? Yeah, that's David Navara. That's not the arbiter भाई. That's not the arbiter भाई. That's David Navara. बाप रे, नवारा को arbiter ही बना दिया यार. चैट तुम लोग crazy हो यार. Yeah, I literally said King G2, lols. I literally said King G2 खेलेगा भाई. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's basically it. So it's gonna be equal. So let's do a roundup chat of day number 8 of Prague Masters, I think. So quickly, first of all, the first game that ended was Gukesh. That was a draw. As you can see, this was the final position, and they repeated moves because Gukesh couldn't find a way to improve, and this was the repetition. That's a draw. Second game that will end soon is Divya Deshmukh. She's simply a pawn down in a knight endgame. So -3 valuation, if you can have Divya's camera for a second, completely over. This game is going to end in a couple of minutes, I think. Okay, maybe 5 minutes or so. Then we have Surya Ganguly, where he has just kind of made a mistake. So game is close to equal, and maybe he's going to botch it up. And finally, we have Aravindh Chithambaram, which is also a dead draw. Could have been a dead draw half an hour or 1 hour ago. So chat, tomorrow, the round starts, I think, at 3:45. We'll be live 1 hour later at 4:45. It'll be the final round. Gukesh versus David Anton, Aravindh versus David Navara. So both players having got some good chances to win. And yeah, chat, प्राग मास्टर खत्म होगा कल. उसके बाद आएगा सीधा बड़ा event candidates. And that's going to be super important for India because that's the event we won in 2024 by जहां गुकेश जीते थे. और इस बार आएंगे first of all Prague in the open section, and then we're going to have Hampi, Divya, and Vaishali in the women's section. So good night, chat. India cricket में जीती. Chess is also not that bad. And final Sunday को जरूर देखना भाई. And we'll be back tomorrow with the Prague Masters a bit early, but we'll be there. Take care, chat. Good night.